everybody, it is the brightest Neon Protege here with
Headrammer.
we are here with the CGL Console Gaming League Community GOATS Tournament Xbox NA Tier 4 Finals. I can't wait for this game. Your thoughts, Headrammer?
Oh, I'm actually really excited for this one. Goats is probably I think Goats is honestly my favorite meta out of all of them. And, I'll take anything, especially when you get to the finals. Goats, everyone's trying their hardest. So many of these games we've seen so far have been incredibly back and forth. And so many of, like, I think of the matches I've produced, so I've produced a lot of the matches instead of casting a lot of them. And of the matches I've done, I think only I've seen one of them has been like a 4-0. Everything other than after that has been like incredibly competitive. So I'm very excited.
Well, I hope this one goes extremely long. If we get into introduce the teams with their lineups. Here we got Covenant lineup, if you want to talk about Headrammer.
Yeah, so we have the Cogent lineup here. So we have running a tank line of Model Castle, Stingray, and Duke Swag. Really big fan, honestly, of the Duke Swag name. It just seems like one of those names of a person who's just going to dominate the server. And then you have their tank line, Corgibra. You know what, I changed my mind. Corgibra is probably my favorite name. It makes me smile every time I hear it. And then we got R3T on the Lucio and Spirit Waffle 23 there on the Zen. I mean, what can you say about this team? I mean, this team's been doing incredibly well this entire tournament, and I am very excited to see what they have to show for us. I know, especially when you get into these higher elos, there's a lot more aggression. In the lower elos of Goats, you just see, like, you know, a lot of back and forth, people kind of off on their own fights. But this is around tier 4s when you really start to see kind of more of the coordination between these teams, and I'm really looking forward to seeing this team play.
Indeed, I said Covenant. It is Cogent. My bad on the team name mix-up. These guys are actually the favorites coming into this with a 15-0 map difference.
That's impressive.
They're going to be. It is extremely impressive, but their opponents are no slouch. Indeed, it is in-stake Goats. First time round they fought, it was 3-0.
Oh, that's supposed to be intake Goats. I had a bad spelling error there for this type. It's intake Goats. That's my bad. I'll fix that.
Intake Goats. They lost 3-0, but they're going to be looking for a vengeance here. Matt Stray on the Reinhardt, Exod on the Zarya, Purple Panther on that Diva, Pop on the Brig, Robots on the Lucio, and Lemon on the Zenyatta. Both teams running about the same lineup. This should be a very good mirror match throughout.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, what can you say? This is just two incredibly strong teams. Like you mentioned earlier, I'm hoping this goes the distance. I mean, what could be better than a finals match where you just don't know who's going to win by the end of it? So many fights end up being back and forth, and then someone pulls off a ridiculous play, and then just someone's crowned the champion. I mean, that's what I'm hoping for in this one. I don't know about you, but I'm hype here. And our first map's going to be Lijiang. What are your thoughts on Lijiang?
Lijiang Tower possibly has the single best Goats submap. That control center, I've said it once, I'll say it again and again. Best for the control or the King of the Hill style maps. Best point for the Goats composition. Full stop. We have seen Lijiang Tower almost every single time open almost every single series. So we'll see what maps we get to play here. I would not be surprised if we get to see all 3 maps. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah. I guess there's really there's not much point in making people wait anymore. We might as well just go right into it, right?
I could not agree more.
Yeah, this is this is one of those things where Control Center is out of all 3 of these points right here. This one probably fits Goats the most.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Round 1. Capture the objective.
Another Discord does go on. They're gonna push back here. Possible point acquisition. It's actually going to go to Cogent here. Even though they're push back, they're still going to be able to have a small advantage on the point. Not the high ground advantage, but high ground or advantage onto the point. Nonetheless, Intake are going to have to push onto the point now as it opens up. A bit of charge goes to Cogent. Almost actually taking point. They do take the point here. Very incredibly. There's not able, no one from Intake is able to get on point. The model, once again, discorded and goes down. Trades coming through. Both Reinhardts are down, but Corgi and Spirit both go down. There's almost the entire support lineup of Cogent, and that's going to be the rest of the team going down. Intake took a bit of time, but it pays off in spades.
Yeah, Cogent taking a little bit of a sneaky point progress there early, but Intake Goats winning the team fight in the end, and winning first overall engagement is more important than taking the point first. And now that they've done that, they're in a pretty good place to hold it. But there's so many ults available here on the side of both times. Intake Goats already has a grab, and Bomb just right behind it.
Yeah, speaking of that grab, it's gonna come in, countered by the Transcendence, but a lot of damage being applied. Bomb comes in, doesn't get anything. Counter grab now gonna come in, countered by the counter Transcendence. Shadow gonna come through, gets 2 down. Model Castle also falls within the skirmish here. That's gonna be everyone from Cogent pulling back here. So far the favorites not getting much done.
Not getting much done, but in that last fight, Intake Goats used every single ult they had.
Very true. Bomb gonna come in. Not gonna get anything. Double support ults, the rally and beat drop coming in from Cogent. They also take out Matt on that Reinhardt and Exiled on the Zarya. 2 huge picks. That's gonna allow Cogent to finally come in and really make a lot of progress on that point, taking out everyone except the D.Va, who's now taken out and killed.
Yeah, and that was Cogent's fight to win there. I mean, Intake Goats used every single support ult they had the previous fight. Cogent threw their bomb in, split up the team, and used 2 support ults. I mean, if you don't have support ults in Goats, you pretty much lose, and that's exactly what ended up happening.
And speaking of ults, Exiled with that grab, and a huge header coming in from Model Castle. Everyone's just gonna die at 6A.
I mean, that is perfect in Goats. Winning a fight solo off a shatter is huge, because usually in some of these fights, a large amount of ultimates get invested, and when you can just win it exclusively off a shatter, I mean, that sets up your ult economy so well in previous fights.
Yeah, you can see ults coming in here. Stingray gonna use that grab, countered by Lemon's Transcendence here. A lot of damage being applied to Discord onto Matt Stray, the Reinhardt, and not really any. They can't really push forward here. They need to get something else, a support ult or something. They use a shatter, unable to make any room at all. Counter shatter gonna come in, takes out 3 huge ult charge and huge kills as well.
These shatters are just turning around these fights. They're so nice fight wins for Cogent. I mean, if you're Intake Goats, like, what do? Their other Ryan's hitting every time they throw a shatter, they just win the fight. And now when they go into this next fight here, they didn't have to invest their upcoming grab. They didn't have to invest bomb. They have rally, and now trans. Like, this is gonna be difficult for Intake Goats to win.
A shot at winning. They're just gonna get ulted at the spawn doors almost. The point's just gonna tick away.
Make a touch.
No one's gonna get onto the point.
Yeah, I mean, once I mean, obviously Cogent struggled a little bit after like their first fight, but once they retook it, they just refused to let it go.
Yeah, just Cogent extremely dominant play throughout. Just those back-to-back huge shatters and the huge stall onto the D.Va. There's nothing else Intake Goats could do. They were down in ults. They got ulted too early in the fight. They didn't have anything to really back it up. They used the sound barrier push into the fight and nothing to sustain through it.
Yeah, and Goats is all about ult economy, and just the amount of efficiency it is of just winning fights off of shatter just saves so many ults and forces the other team to invest with their own and lose.
And as we're going to come in here, we do not see any hero swaps. No Ana, no Moira to take advantage of the long range. No Winston as well. It's going to be the same exact compositions. Intake going to be on the point first here, but both teams going to kind of evenly take the point. The tanks of Cogent take a huge amount of damage. Corgi almost goes down. Discord's being applied rapidly here. Intake going to lose their D.Va mech. That is a huge advantage going on to Cogent. They're going to try and milk everything they can out of that. Both Reinhardts fall pretty low, about half health. The healing is going to come through pretty strong, though. Matt Straight has Discord, but about to have that shatter and dies just before they're able to get that shatter. Model gets the Discord, but now they're going to push it forward. 1 health, still holding the forward, and just going to clean up those kills.
Yeah, again, that D.Va getting D-maxed early on. The D.Va in these combos helps mitigate so much damage, and when your D.Va is not there, the Reinhardt ended up taking so much more damage. You saw the Rein fell. And this was actually a zero ult investment fight here. So Cogent coming up on 6 ultimates, and Intake Goats is actually somewhat close, but it's definitely going to be to the point where Cogent could just use these ults first and probably just win this fight, assuming they play their positioning right. But actually, they're going to fake around to the right side and not go left.
Smart move. Grab gonna come in on the side. Gonna get 2 kills. No one can get off.
Oh no!
3 actually. The huge boost. The Transcendent tried to come in the counter. It did not matter at all. The counter bomb gonna try and get something. Gets it then, but it's not gonna be anywhere near enough.
Oh, there she goes. Oh, but no, that was a really good grab. It caught them on the side there. You saw on the bridge, it pulled them over so they were off the edge. And when the grab came out, when you, especially, I think they still would have dropped even without the boop, but the boop ensured that they fell off the map. And that was a fight winning off of grab and rally, and they still have 4 ults.
And not only that, but Cogent traded 2 ults for 2 ults. They still have the ult advantage coming into this fight. They're going to use bomb to initiate it. No picks coming through. The Shatter going to try and get something. Doesn't get anything as well. The counter grab going to come in. Countered by the Transcendence. Damage being a bit stalled out here. Rally going to come in. Shatter gets nothing. Discord's damage.
Another boop.
Applied. An intake.
Oh, wait, another one. The Lucio's carrying this fight. 3 kills by Lucio.
Oops. 3 boops in 1 fight. 4. He got it on the purple as well.
Yeah, and Cogent's just doing so well of controlling these points here. We've seen it like pretty much except that first fight on Control Center. Once they've taken the point, they have not let it go.
Yeah, and they're looking to not let it go at all. Coming in this last fight here, Stunbergen coming from intake, countered by the Shatter. Grab gonna come in onto the ceiling, countered by the Transcendence, but it's not gonna be able to protect 2. It's on the other side. A huge play there with the grab. 2 down. Stunbergen gonna come in just to clean up the rest, and that is gonna be Li Zhang's tower.
Yeah, that was pretty impressive there from Cogent Goats. They just did not let that one go. But we even saw that in that last fight there. They grabbed the ceiling and it split the team in half. The Transcendence was on the other side of the point, and I mean, everyone just in front of it just died. Like, what are you gonna do about that?
Yeah, just those 2 instant picks isolated from the grab is enough to win the rest of the fight, especially with that sound barrier added on to make sure everyone on your team stays alive. You can't draw through that. They have double your health and 2 extra people. Not much you can do. No real ults could even change that at all. And I'm barely certain Cogent had another ult in their pocket, or we're about to build that next ult up if they needed to really solidify the fight win. They didn't end up needing it, but a very dominant display from Cogent so far.
Yeah, it really just seemed like in every single team fight, Cogent was just getting more value with their ultimates. And just because they're getting this more value, it's forcing Intake Goats to invest their ultimates, but they're having to react every single time with their ultimates. And because of that, they're not getting value and they're still not winning the fights, even though they're using the ult separate. Second. And this is leading to situations where they're always on the back foot. And I think this is going to be, if this series continues the way it is, I think if it keeps going like this, it's going to be an easy 4-0 for Cogent. But we do know that Control is very different from a lot of the other game modes in Overwatch, and some teams that are really good at Control are not as good at other points, because especially like 2CP plays incredibly different compared to Control. Control is just so much more chaotic, and if you take first point Control, you kind of just win a majority of the time. Whereas 2CP, if you're a team that's like very good at playing defenses or breaking defenses, you can get a lot of value, and those 2 skills are very different from what you oftentimes do in Control.
Yes, I would completely agree with you. It's only 1 point that both teams have to attack on maps like Li Zhang, and every other style of map in the game, or every other game mode or like it's escort, hybrid, and 2 CP. All those are one team defending, one team attacking. It's an extremely different play style. So Cogent, they have the early lead, but they might not be able to keep it coming into the second map, an hybrid map, I believe.
What do you think it's
Do
gonna
we
be?
have the information?
Oh, I know what it's gonna be. I want to hear a guess from you. What's it gonna be?
Okay, I'm gonna have to guess the Goats Row here, Kings Row coming in. That would be my guess. That is the usual play that we will see. What is it, Headrunner?
Well, unfortunately, Neon, you are actually completely correct. So I know, shocking revelation that a team would go to Kings Row, but sometimes we do get our surprises. One of the, I think personally, I think this has been one of those points where, you know, Ryan Zarya has always been good on this map, and then you just add goats into it, and like, how much better can you get?
You can't get much better at all. This is Goats Row for a reason. The first real map to be added into the game. Very close quarters. There's a bit of range, so you could swap an Ana, maybe a Moira in there, depending if you're playing on high ground. But for the most part,
Looks like
it's an
Demon's giving a pep talk.
Ooh. Jump with Eva. Are going to start coming in here. A lot of damage being applied immediately from intake onto Cogent. Discord's coming in as well. This bubble's getting a lot of efficient use. A lot of damage still being applied. Kind of a jostling for the point control here.
Oh,
immediately, Izzo goes down. Pop falls as well. Lemon and Exod. It's just one after another. That first pick onto the Reinhardt came out of nowhere, and that's all they wrote.
Yeah, they were able to get a lot of pressure on that Reinhardt right away, and he kind of just they kind of just folded, honestly. That was such a quick fight that actually, if you're into goats, like, while you hate losing first points so quickly like that, because you can burn a lot of time that way, the fight, you lost it so quickly that Cogent's not gonna have a whole lot of ults, which is
They're not gonna have anything for the majority of this fight. They're gonna be building up those ults as it begins. They're still gonna have a small ult advantage as they come in, which they're gonna start doing now with the grab as it gets popped. Nothing to really counter that, so kill's gonna come in onto Skit, followed by Pop and the D-Mac, the Diva, the Zen. It's one after another, and nothing intake could do about that.
yeah, that was incredibly clean again. Usually think, oh, we get a little bit of the teabag action, just establishing dominance. Oh, and an emote too. The entire team's starting to get in on it. They're just, I mean, I understand why. They're kind of rolling right now, to be honest. It feels like there's not really much standing in the way of Cogent right now, and I really hope Intake Goats can kind of find their footing, because right now they're kind of getting rolled over.
Well, they're gonna have to find their footing, possibly with their Transcendence. Shatter gonna come through, gets only the Reinhardt down. The Transcendence gonna come in, rally as well from Corgi. Kind of a small stalemate until the rest of the ults come through. There's a grab, countered by the Transcendence. Shatter coming in, gets the tank line completely down. So they're gonna keep everyone alive. This bomb gonna come in. Does it? It actually gets purple because of the counter bomb. Gets followed as well. Not much more intake to do as they suffer more and more picks. They're able to get a counter pick. That's gonna be the end of the point.
Yeah, losing some of those supports early kind of really cost. Oh wait, investing grab already. Just wanted to stagger the Zarya even more. Just not even caring. Zarya's 100 charge. Oh, more little bit of bagging action, establishing dominance, and they're coming here with almost over 5 minutes left. And I mean, what can you say? I mean, Intake Goats does have 2 support ults now, coming up on a 3rd, so they should. If they play this right, they should hold. There should be no reason they lose this fight here, and you can stall for a long time off these support ults because Cogent has none.
Speaking of the support ults, we're gonna see that rally come in. Cogent have only a Shatter, which they're actually gonna lose. Mobile goes down, and that's gonna be their full retreat call.
Yeah, and this is 3rd point Kings Row, so even in situations where you roll 1st and 2nd, if you can get a hold on 3rd point, you can really burn a lot of time. Oh no, wait, is this a little bit of sneaky Ryan gameplay here? Is he gonna get? He doesn't have Shatter. So, oh, he's going for the pin. Okay, it's the Zen.
And the the Shatter gets the Lucio down. An instant fight win right off the bat.
If you're a fan of Intake Goats here, this is what you want to see. You can tell, like, this team isn't boomed. If you're going for cheeky plays like that, you are not boomed. You still have confidence. And I mean, that cheeky play got value. Is he? Wait, is he again? Surely they can't fall for this twice. Okay, no. That's not.
They're not gonna do it again. No one's gonna fall for it twice. The ultimates though are online.
Oh, the shatter
gonna. Oh, it's huge. It's gonna be countered by both the Transcendence and the Soundbarrier at the same time. A bit of a waste there since two are already down. Two supporters couldn't save the two people that did die. 3, 4, 5, and the rest being taken out.
Yeah, these I mean, it really seems like model shouters have been getting way more value right now than the main tank. Actually, I didn't realize this early actually, but the main tank on King's Row versus Legion changed for intake goats.
Very true. As we see the grab, the bomb come through, and Cogent's gonna be stopped here. They take too many casualties with the Reinhardt the Brig. Both go down. The Diva gets DMAC and falls off the map as well. It's a full-on retreat.
Yeah, they've I mean, they came in here with 5 minutes and 30 seconds left, and they've already burned off about 2.5 minutes here. So they're doing pretty good. But the problem is they only have rally right now coming up on Trance. The Shatter is up again for Model Castles, and we've seen how much value you can get from this. But actually, they're going for the bomb engage, trying to get a Shatter with them. No, there's already bubble save them.
They try and do the combo. It doesn't quite work out for them. The counter rally going to come through. The counter Shatter comes through, does nothing. Soundbarrier going to come in, gets every person on Cogent. Now just going to try and push forward, use that small advantage. Lemon still has that Transcendence in the back pocket if needed. Model takes a huge amount of damage with that Discord on them. Stingray takes even more damage without that Discord on them. Damage coming through. Exods and Rhett both go down. Still a bit of a stalemate. The Cogent gonna have that speed boost coming back quickly. Exod's spawn is gonna be the advantage. Grab countered by that Transcendence coming through. Skid falls to the pit. Shatter coming through. Takes Lucio off the map. Mid-air stunned off the map. Diva goes down, and the rest of the picks are gonna come in. Diva only one left. Got Shattered still alive. Gonna have to try and do something. Maybe build that grab up, but they're not gonna be able to do it in time. The rest of the ults coming through. That's gonna be point 3. Round 1 complete.
Yeah, capping King's Row here with just under 2 minutes left, and that's a pretty good amount of time here. I mean, honestly, finishing you cannot be upset finishing King's Row with 2 minutes left. But at the same time, if you are intake goats, you shaved off about 3 minutes. So that's way better than 5.5 minutes. You were getting rolled the first and second points, but you burned it and made it a little bit more manageable. However, this does set something in stone now. If you're Cogent, you know you capped all 3 points and you capped with time. That means you can plan out your defense here and just play to burn time. You can stall both the point and the payload as much as you want, as long as either they cap with no time left in the end, or they don't cap at all. And that kind of confidence can really help going in here into a defense, because you know exactly what your game plan is. You know what the win conditions are.
And not only that, but there's a very specific way that you can play using ults at the right time, letting certain fights go to have the advantage in later fights that can really mess up a team if they're not ready for it. You can control the pace of how the enemy advances if you let them win a fight here, a fight there. They'll be down in ults when you need them to be, and it's a really effective stall tactic that in the end allows Intake to take third. But if they take it with no time left, Cogent will have an unlimited or no way to lose the map. Intake won't have any time. Cogent has 2 minutes, and now we're gonna see if what their strategy is coming in.
Yeah, hopefully Intake Goats here does show a little bit more of the aggression, because I felt like they were on the back foot for a lot of this series so far. And if they can come here and just kind of take it to Cogent, now they're actually on the attack, I'll definitely be a lot less concerned.
We're gonna see that aggression with a push through the hotel, almost taking out Model. Immediately getting healed up. The tanks of Intake take a huge amount of damage. Skit goes down. Model almost falls, but still alive with that huge healing coming through from the supports. And the rest of Intake, they're going to take massive damage. Lemon goes down, and everyone forced back into the spawn.
Yeah, it really feels like Cogent's done a very good job of putting a lot of pressure on the main tank of Intake Goats. So wait, is it worth a little bit of cheeky grab? Like, there's no way they won't see this already, right? No way, I think Diva saw them. Okay, yeah, caught out. Okay, let's try to grab anyways.
They still got that grab. A lot of people are in it. It's gonna take. Actually, Corby is the one to go down. Shatter in the back line here. Model almost goes down, but 2 picks come through onto Intake. Lemon and Skit both go down. That's gonna have to really stall the fight out long enough. Stingray gets counter-picked here. That's gonna be their initiation, just go through. They're gonna have the respawn advantage, and they're just not gonna let this fight up. It's gonna take the diva out, pushing immediately from a fight loss to a fight win here. They had the grab if needed. Gonna start taking takes, make a lot of percentage on that point as Cogent gonna have to try and do something to come back onto this point. It looks like they might not even be able to with the grab. They're just gonna go off the point. That's gonna be right there. They use the rally, they use the transcendence, but not gonna be on point. Both the rallies actually getting used here. And just the points already taken. The old Scylla coming through. Robots with a huge sound barrier. Both bombs coming through. Neither gets anything here. Intake able to take, and they're still trying to push forward just a tad.
Yeah, I think I did really like that counter push you mentioned. Wait, big shatter. No, there's always something happening.
The double shatters coming through. It's gonna take out Pop. The Brig on intake, and now Cogent just they smell the blood in the water, and they are going to strike as fast and as lethally as they can, taking Skit out. The Stingray gets traded here. Another pick onto intakes Lucio and their Zarya. Both go down. Another pick on the Brig, and the Cogent gonna have to try and back up here. They can't take any more losses.
Yeah, I definitely think Cogent has, at least currently, has better target focus with their damage, because they're always putting in damage, and you can see as they shift from target to target to target. Now, Intigo does have the grab here, so they can push forward and potentially take some space, but I think they kind of just let them in, honestly. I felt like they could have held that corner, but a massive shatter!
Huge shatter coming through. Transcendence coming in as well to somewhat mitigate it. Grab as well. The Transcendence actually mitigates grab, counter grab, counter Transcendence. No real pick coming through, but they're gonna come in very soon with another shatter in this fight. Gets 4 down. Sound barrier coming through. There's a rally as well from Corgi. Double ult coming online. Double ult being popped by intake, the bomb, and the rally coming through. Both Grandheads go down, as well as the Brig from Cogent. Intake going to take huge advantage of this, or at least try to get as much as they can. They're going to definitely want to push the point off those 2 picks, off the 1-man advantage here.
Yeah, that was a pretty chaotic fight, honestly. There was ults used all over the place now, but if you're taking goats, you are coming up here on a grab. You're going to have grab and sound barrier, whereas there's pretty much only maybe a shatter coming up for Cogent. If you go quickly and get a grab, and just grab them, you should just win the fight. That's what you want to do right now. But if you make this fight go too long, then you're going to let Cogent get their ults, and it might stop you. I think
Speaking of the ults, Shatter going to come through sound barrier, going to try and counter. Going to now use an aggressive sound barrier coming through. Almost takes the diva out the grab, coming through. Nothing to counter. All the damage coming through. There's a melee killing that, and it's a 6-person death pile.
Yeah, that was a great grab. Now, they got me a little worried because they were definitely taking, I think, too long. I don't know if I thought they had support ults, because if you look right there, their Zen almost got trance in time. If Zen got trance, that could have been a very different picture. But they got it just in the nick of time. They just capped second point there. Now they have 3 minutes 30 seconds left to potentially take third here. Making a pretty good base.
They could do it faster than Cogent did. A lot of damage being applied coming in the beginning of this fight. The grab coming through, countered by the immediate Transcendence here. Possible shatters inbound, a pin coming through, takes out Brig. Bomb coming through, takes out Reinhardt. Sound barrier and Transcendence being used by Cogent, as well as the rally all three, one after another. Skit and Model both go down. Lucio as well. Now Cogent just gonna push forward, see what else they can get. They get the Zen, and now they're gonna start to back up just a tad.
Yeah, if you're Cogent, that was the fight you needed to win. You got your stabilization just like Intake Ghost did on their defense, and now you're actually in a place where you have ults. You know, you got your Shatter, you got your Bomb. Now, actually, Intake Ghost's not in a terrible position either. They have Grab as well as a Rally coming up here, and they could use this opportunity to go fast to grab, just like they did to take second point.
Yeah, well, they're gonna use their grab. Oh, huge Shatter coming through, trying to counter the rally. Lucio goes down as well as the Zarya, and that's just gonna be the end of the fight right there. One ult pop, and it's over.
Yeah, again, just winning these fights off these single shatters is shifting this ult momentum in Cogent's favor. Because just you win off shatter, he's already halfway to another one. They used rally on that engagement there, and which delayed it long enough, winning that fight, that now Cogent has support ult of their own. And now they make this even more difficult. Yeah, see the Zarya here, they're just gonna solo grab. Oh, that's risky.
risky, but it's gonna do a lot here. Forces out the Transcendence to one person. And Transcendence gonna come through, tries to save Skit, but he's not gonna come in time. And that's almost a fight win right there. In of itself, it is.
Yeah, I think I have really mixed feelings, honestly, about solo grabbing Orion, because there's a lot you can do to keep him alive. And it was risky. I don't think it really was a great idea, honestly. And I lost the fight for that one. But again, a lot of ults coming up here for Cogent. A bomb engage. They really like doing this.
They have a reason to like it. Double kills come from the bomb. 2 more join them. A 5th. Almost to the D.Va gonna be able to get out
the
a
bag.
very quick win.
Gotta get in your squats. Oh wait, is this a flank shatter? Are they gonna check the corners?
Oh, it's come.
It could happen, it could happen. Oh wait, I think they chalked him. Oh, what? I thought they saw him. They can still get swat.
They almost able to counter. They're able to keep their team alive. Counter gonna come through. Doesn't get anything. Double sound barriers coming through as well as the rally from Cogent. Model gonna be the first one to go down to the bomb. That is a huge pick. The rest of Intake are just gonna push forward here, trying to get whatever they can. Someone fell off the map. It is Zarya, D.Va D-Mac here in Intake. Win the fight. He's gonna try and push forward, kill the people stalling on the point, and get as much as they can out of this fight.
Yeah, but right now, Intake Goat's under a minute now, and I don't know if they're gonna. I don't think they're gonna be able to cap with time, even if they do cap at all. And that puts them in a pretty difficult position, where Cogent can just burn this out with clock here. I mean, they have grab, they have trance. There's no way they let Intake Goats cap this with time. I think Intake Goats would be lucky if they cap at all.
Double Intake Goats still have a very good chance of capping. Full stop with that grab. They're gonna try and get something out of it. They do pop it in. Transcendence is gonna be able to use as the counter. Double Transcendence, double grabs, both being used from both sides. Rally coming in as well. Bit of a stalemate. The point still is now in overtime, so Cogent will at least have an attack. They have an almost win here. Exod, they being taken out by the bomb. That is a huge pick right there. The long respawn from third. The shadow gonna come through. Doesn't get anything, in fact dies for it, but the break does go down. Pin onto Lemon, bomb onto the point, doesn't get much. The picks are coming through onto Intake. Cogent about to take this here, and they do take map number 2. Whew.
Yeah, that was difficult there. They kind of got tripped up, just like Cogent did on third point, but Cogent came in with a much larger time bank, which made it easier for them. And it put them in a bad situation where they were forced to commit their ults to even get the cart rolling, and then didn't have a whole lot to follow up there in the final fight. When I got to the final fight there, the ults were pretty much even, which naturally will favor the defense because of the spawn advantage. And again, we talked about earlier, Cogent just knew they were able to stall out the point until it was overtime. And once it was overtime, it didn't really matter. They couldn't lose anymore. Like, even if they had fallen over and lost that fight there, they would have capped in no time, and they still would have had 2 minutes to attack. Again, which is a pretty good spot to be in, especially in Ghost, where the ults charge so quickly.
Yeah, it is an incredible spot to be in, and Cogent use that incredible spot to go up 2-0 in this finals, looking to make it a 4-0, but Intake Goats are not going to take that line down when we come back for map 3 and map 4. This could go to possibly a lot of maps, depending on if there are any draws. We will have a 3rd and 4th when we come back from this short intermission. Stay right there, stay right with us. We'll be right back. Hello everyone, again it is the brightest Neon Proje here, back with
Head Rama.
We're here for maps 3 and 4. This is a finals game. Cogent versus Intake Goats. This is a final, so it will go to at least a map 4, even if it is 4-0, which Cogent are 2-0 right now as we go into map 3, which I hear is going to be the best Russian map in the game. Volskaya Industries. Admiral, your thoughts?
Yeah, Volskaya, we kind of talked about this before when we were talking about the strategies between the different map types, and 2CP is definitely very different. It really favors the defense on almost all points, just due to the nature of how you're able to hold it. Now, first point, there is quite the walk back, So if you're able to break first point, a lot of times, especially in Volskaya goes, you don't really see first point held super long unless the defending team builds up enough ults to win, say, 2 fights in a row or whatever. But Volskaya, I mean, you run into situations. Out of all the control points, usually Volskaya is one of the ones where, you get the 6/6s, the 8/8s, whatever. It's not as common anymore due to the reduction in time. But this is definitely situations where it could happen. And if you can hold a strong defense on 2CP, you'll have a tremendous advantage. Because there's so many groups that can stall it out for such a long period of time. And in GOATs, especially this GOATs workshop code, because ults build so quickly, stalling is even easier. Because you can build up a support ult and just sustain until your team gets back. And it's oftentimes why 2CP is not the preferred mode from a lot of people. But I think out of the 3 control points, sorry, not 3 control points, 3 different maps for 2CP, this is my personal favorite because it's less likely you get stuck in a choke. So if you want to be an attacker, especially attacking first point, Volskaya is a pretty good map for you.
Yeah, and as we go into Volskaya, Intake Goat's gonna have to pull something out here. Last I heard, they are going to do some swaps. They are actually not going to swap anything up.
Actually, Matt Stray has been subbed back on the Ryan, so Matt Stray was actually the same Reinhardt they played on Lijiang Tower, and then they subbed in a different main tank for King's Row, and Matt looks to be back now.
That is the swap. That might be what Intake needs here. They ran their map on the King of the Hill. That's the most different of all the maps. So maybe Matt coming back in is what they need as we come in here. It's going to be another mirror matchup. Who would have guessed? The Zen, the Reinhardt, same stomps back and forth. Cogent going to be on the fence here. Intake have to do something here to not fall down to that match point situation. They're going to come in, a bunch of discords coming through on the map. Damage now coming through. Intake have a nice position here. They'll get forced to hold on to the point at the point. Take a lot of mobility. They could go to the high ground, push right through, go all the way around there. There are a lot of options. A bunch of discords coming through onto Matt.
And I really like this wide angle that Lemon is taking on the Zen. Just shooting from that complete angle, just laying down so much damage in the Reinhardt. It helps a lot as the team pushes back in, and they're engaging right now.
Going in, now once again with the discord on them, Model finally gets the discord on them countered, but it's a bit too late. Robots gets that flame strike to them, they die. Shatter gonna come through from Model, gonna be able to take out Purple on that Diva mech. But the baby Diva is still gonna be kept alive here. That's an incredibly good stagger. And Cogent, after just kind of waiting for Intake to attack, hold.
Yeah, that was a pretty long fight there. It seemed like they were trying to build some ults to get ready to engage, but whenever Intake Goats engaged, they didn't have any ults or didn't really spend anything. And that kind of just led to what seemed like a split engagement. It seemed like they didn't really know who they wanted to push on, and it looks like they're just gonna grab right now.
Yeah, the grab comes through, countered by the Transcendence from Lemon. Counter grab coming through. Too big come through by accident on the Stingray and Corgi. Shatter gonna come through as well. Going to make sure everything is cleaned up. The sound barrier coming in from Spirit. Gonna keep everyone alive. It's not gonna be enough, or it might just be enough here. 2 picks go down. Another counter on to Model. Spirit goes down as well. Intake finally getting a good control of this point. The Diva mech still being demeched here, so still a lot of counter picks coming through. Brett finally falls for the end of the stagger, and Intake finally going to be able to take the point here.
Yeah, it really seemed like a few members of Cogent got really trapped in that little mini room there and just could not get out. And once you're trapped there, especially when the entire team surrounds you, unless you got some ults, you're pretty much as good as dead. And now coming into this next fight here, there actually is a real opportunity to potentially snowball this for Intake Goats. They have the grab, they have the bomb, and they have beat. Now there is a support ult on the side of Cogent, but if Intake Goats goes very quickly and gets the picks early, they actually could snowball this.
Yeah, and that rally gonna be immediately pop count with the shatter as well. There's no more ult for Cogent. All the ults coming in from Intake, all
oh my gosh,
they
big bomb.
have with 3 picks from those 3 ults. The tank line almost completely gone. It is completely gone. It's only Rhett who is still on, just kind of hiding on the high ground here, waiting for that waiting to stall it out. They do come on and almost immediately kill, but that's going to be enough to get onto the point. They're going to pop in a Winston model going onto that Winston. Going to try and do something here. Chatter's going to come through.
Oh, the cap.
Gets nothing, but it gets everyone off the point long enough to take the point. Double transcendences are out, but it's too little, too late. Intake, take round 1.
Yeah, that pretty much worked exactly like I was expecting it. They just came in, grabbed, bombed, used their beat so they could take that space, and just right off the grab bomb, they got 3 people, and once you have the 3-person advantage, the fight should be as good as done. And because they wiped them so quickly, they had to, Cogent had to run to the point and try to stall it out, but the Lucio got destroyed immediately, and they just weren't able to, they got zoned off on the Winston in the backup point and just could not get back on, leading to a 3-minute and 43-second time bank here for Intake Goats. And I guess we'll see how Intake Goats' defense is, and if their defense is strong, this could be great for them. This could be exactly what they need to get back into the series, or we might be in a situation where we get a 6-6 on Volskaya.
It could very easily go to 6-6 on Volskaya and never count that out. Oh, those are the... If anyone has ever gone 6-6 on Volskaya, you know what it's like to be that deep into one map. We can very easily see that here. Cogent are not going to let Intake take a map without a seriously hard fight. Gonna do that fight right now. They're gonna come in once again, same compositions. They're gonna give it everything they have.
Yeah, actually going back to the whole 6-6 thing. Actually, I had a Goats match this tournament on Volskaya that went 7-6 on Volskaya. Just teams just weren't really good at the defense.
Yep, so that happens somewhat often, but in the higher ranks, tier 4, we get a lot better at playing the defensive, not just the offensive, as we're going to see here. Intake holding in some nice spots, putting a lot of damage onto model, the equal amount of damage coming through onto Matt as well. Bunch of half health people on Cogent, just targeted until they're half health, and then damage kind of stops. They pull back, and then another person takes half health. Just a bit of a cycle coming through. Finally, a bit of push here. Matt, 1 health, able to come back, able to get the healing needed. The Diva's dueling on the high ground here. It's going to be Purple, who almost goes down, needs support from the Lucio Boop. Now, Cogent swap around. They're going to rotate through the back of the choke. They're going to try and come around again. They might go back around. They might rotate again, leaving the Reinhardt somewhat alone here. Ults being built up. This is what
Shatter!
We're trying to be on the attack. Huge Shatter coming through. Takes 3 down. The Transcendence try and counter it. No one goes down. Grab can come through. Gets eaten. Sound Barrier going to try and counter the grab. That was already eaten. Going to provide sustain. Shatter going to come through. Counter. Another grab gets eaten. Rally and Sound Barrier both going to get popped from Intake Goats. Bomb going to come through as well from Intake. Gets nothing. Counter Grab going to come in from Cogent. Going to try and get something. Doesn't get anything either. Exod finally goes down. Followed by the Lucio here. Cogent finally found a chink in the armor. Shatter going to come through, and all of a sudden with that Shatter, the rest of the team falls, all 6, and Cogent able to take it after a 2-minute fight on.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a weird fight. You don't usually see much fighting there actually on the left side of point. Usually most teams like to engage from that part that Intake Goats originally pushed in, but they were able to get that fight after a large exchange of ultimates here, and there's not a whole lot available on the side of Cogent. They do have Rally, but nothing to really finish off the other team. So right now I think they just need to play slow, build some ults, and hopefully get something that can win these fights.
Yeah, the Rally does get popped. That's the only real ult we're going to see here. Model falls. Shatter going to come from Matt before they go down. Corgi going to go down. Pop Discord. Still alive. Discord now on the purple. But Duke is going to get demaxed, and Intake are going to be able to hold.
Yeah, pretty good from Intake Goats there. They knew they were in definitely a much better place advantage in terms of their positioning, and because Cogent had used so much in the fight before, and Intake Goats really just didn't have to do anything really in that fight to win it, because Cogent only had the Rally and nothing to finish off a fight. In 2CP, we talked about this earlier, if you kill the other team slow, they will come back and just stall it out and potentially win the engagement. So you really need these ults, these grabs, these bombs to just destroy the other team so they don't have the opportunity to recontest. Cogent just did not have that last fight. Now they do have a little bit this fight, but it's been long enough that Intake Goats has their own combos.
Yeah, the bomb gonna come through. A pin, or no, sorry, a bash. Able to take the Reinhardt out. And a grab gets eaten, but picks coming through on this line of Cogent. And then this was there from Lemon. You see Pop use that rally. Lemon does go down, but it's not gonna be enough to really get this attack going here. Intake able to hold, but taking heavy casualties. Still able to hold.
Yeah, a very solid fight there. Cogent opened up pretty well with their initial bomb engage, but it kind of fell apart a little bit from there. Now, Intake Goats did pop a lot of ultimates. Looking at Cogent here, they have their trance, they have beat, and they have shatter. They can pretty much push in here with one of the support ultimates and then just use that aggression to just close the distance and potentially take someone out, because there is not much out here on the side of Intake Goats. But a shatter coming out.
The shatter gets down. But the robot with the sound barrier gonna keep her alive. Rhett gonna come in with that sound barrier to counter. It's gonna go on to Intake Goats. Matt and Pop both go down. That shatter no longer in play. Gonna come back. That could be a huge difference coming back in. Lemon dies with the Transcendence. That's another ult that's gonna have to come back in. We see the Transcendence coming from Spirit. Corgi not gonna use. It's there. Rally. Bomb still online for Duke Swag. Robots falls. Shatter gonna come through. Only gets, or actually gets to Rhett and Model. Not gonna be enough. Matt does fall. You can see the Transcendence now starting to come back. They're trying to get a bunch of stall, whatever they can here. It's gonna come through. Able to get onto the point. Able to keep just the Brig alive. I'm going to come in. Doesn't get much. We're going to see her swap onto the Winston here and pick after pick after pick. A grab gets eaten, but a counter grab comes through, keeping everyone off point. It's only Lucio trying to stall from the high ground. Going to be taken out. The Winston just able to get back in as it just put on. They're not going to live long, and that's going to be it. You're unable to get onto the point with that bomb.
Yeah, very solid engagement there from Cogent, and this was they have less time, so they got about 2 minutes left here. Or sorry, exactly 2 minutes left. Intake Goats have 3 minutes and 35 seconds, so Intake Goats definitely with the advantage here in this engagement. Going to this, so Cogent will be attacking first with Intake Goats defending, and if you're Intake Goats, you know your game plan. You got to burn time. You didn't really hold first point for very long last time, and neither of these teams really did. I don't think super well on honestly kind of either parts of their defense. Intake Goats did a little bit better on their defense on the second point, but I think that was mainly because Cogent had no ults because they used them all on first point, which was the primary either of their time. If Intake Goats is able to burn a lot of time on first point, it will force Cogent to come into their second point. If they do even cap first point with like a countdown, they're gonna be on the clock then. So Cogent's really got to make sure that because they have this less time, that they're very decisive with these engagements.
Well, I would completely agree with you on the ult economy that you were talking about. We saw Cogent go in. They had next to nothing. They had a rally. That's not going to be enough to take out a defensive team, especially on a 2 CPU. Intake, when they came in, they had ults to use. And that was a huge difference of why we saw Intake take it so much faster. Once again, the teams are going to be using the same exact concentrations, bit of damage from the high ground.
Yeah, the D.Va just getting a little bit, just a little spotted. As they're coming in, yeah, and Cogent really likes pushing from this other side here. I still think it's very common. I think it puts some lines up for like a lot of damage early on.
Yeah, a lot of damage going on to Matt as he tries to get the pin. A bash comes through, doesn't get the stun that they would like. The Discord's coming through rather efficiently here, getting a lot of ult charge on both sides. Everyone above 40 except for Swag here. Everyone getting on above 50 for Intake. They're gonna have a really nice hold if we can keep that ult charge higher than Cogent coming in here. They have the high ground advantage with that D.Va gets pooped off no longer in their play. That's gonna push forward here, trying to get something here. They are able to build their ults up first with the grab. Both Transcendences are online. Huge then ult charge. That is not an easy ult to build, and they're the first ones to have it. Other ults coming through. Double shatters coming through. Our grab, sound barrier, Transcendence. Matt goes down. Cogent using almost everything that they have. Bomb coming through from Purple, doesn't get anything. Pop, very low. Transcendence is going to come in to try and keep everyone alive. Without that Reinhardt, it's going to be extremely hard to get anything done. Model, very low, but able to survive through. Corgi not going to use their rally. Sound barrier going to keep everyone alive. Almost killed Pop, but not quite. Rally going to come through, try and counter it. Pop does eventually go down, and the rest of them are gonna crumble here, but it's gonna be enough stalled out time to bring it to very close to overtime.
Yeah, you're right. They're gonna be pushing to this next fight in overtime. with really not a lot. They have a bomb and almost a Transcendence. They have nothing else. They might be able to build a Shatter just how fast Shatter builds here, but I think the favor is definitely on the side of Intake. They're almost at a Grav, almost at a bomb, and they're behind on Trance. However, again, it's a defensive team. They can play this slow, and I think Cogent actually, if Cogent wants to win here, they gotta play it slow. They want to wait until they build their other ultimates to give them a little bit of a better chance. But they're actually gonna go quickly with the bomb engage.
I'm gonna come through, doesn't get anything but stun on the mat, immediately gonna be able to take them out. Transcendence gonna come through from Cogent, trying to keep everyone alive on the point. The grab gonna come through, so Transcendence is still up, so it's able to protect people from that grab. The bomb gonna come through, doesn't get anything at all. A lot of damage is being applied. 2 supports go down the brig, and the Zen. Shadow comes through, only gets Lemon down. Gonna go down along with Exile, and we're gonna come back in with that Transcendence if the point is stalled long enough here. So that does go down for Cogent, however, that's going to be almost a death sentence, and maybe get a tick here. December does come in, grab as well, but just slowly but surely the picks are coming through. Counter Shadow going to come in here, takes a diva out of mech, and there's no longer any tanks, so there's not much that Cogent can do but stall and hope that they might get an ult coming in, and they will not get that ult coming in. Round 3, Intake are able to hold.
Yeah, it really seems like Cogent wasn't quite ready when they went for that engagement. They went for the bomb engage, but they were not quite ready to do the pinning for the bomb. Now, they did kill the Ryan pretty fast, but this was pretty much as expected, just based on the ults that were available and the fact that it was overtime on defense without a whole lot of like fight-winning ultimates. Now, it's Intake Goat's turn to attack here. I think they're definitely the advantage here. They didn't really hold first point that long last time, but if they can take first point and then come in with any kind of ult advantage, they definitely have a chance at taking this. This could very well be the map that turns around for Intake Goats. And looks like they're teasing the Ana. I wonder if that's what they would have put in the run.
It might just put that Ana in. We don't know. It's an attack, and that anti-nade is so potent in the Goat composition. It blocks all the healing and makes the brawl very one-sided. Intake Goats have enough time to do a full 6 ult push on both points to get 30 seconds, so they have over 4 minutes here. 4 minutes, 5 seconds. They have enough to take both points in what they need. So they have the possibility of doing it. It's just a matter of 10 minutes.
Yeah, this is they will actually be choosing the Raw and the Ana, so they're going to be sacrificing the damage output for potentially trying to get plays with anti-nades. And this really comes down to the Diva Duke Swag on Cogent here. Can they eat these nades, and can Lemon kind of sneak in and get value out of this? Because Ana only gives value in Goats if you can get value out of these nades. If you can't get value with your nades, then you should go Zen.
And maybe we're going to see the Discord go on to Lemon. Does go back onto the Reinhardt, the main primary Discord target, but still going to try and focus Lemon down on that Ana. They know that the Ana is in play. Do not be surprised if Ana is one of the first ones to go down if Cogent are able to hold this point here. Just trying to just get whatever they can, slowly creep forward with their positioning. It's going to be hard to take this because Cogent have a very widespread hold here. Intake once going to do the swap around that Cogent did when they took the point the first time, and they're actually going to lose Matt here. That is the first death nail in the fight. The rest are going to fall or retreat.
Yeah, this is the danger of when you don't. A lot of times, we've seen that running the Ana, it can get value, but more value oftentimes on the defense, because the Ana can sit on the high ground and throw nades above the enemy team. It's difficult unless you're in the Ana mirror to do it on the attack, because the Zen can just fire on your Rhine, and it's just so difficult for them to push through.
And they're gonna start trying to push through right now. Discord on map to make that, as you said, very difficult to push forward. Discord now back on Lemon. Stun comes through on some Intake onto they're gonna come through, grabbing, gonna be by the Transcendence, counter grab in, countered by the Sound Barrier this time. Shadow gonna come in from Matt. Sound Barrier gonna come in from Red. Bomb coming in, doesn't get anything except for, no, actually he doesn't get the even mech for Intake. They actually get the bomb off with 2 picks. The rally going to come in as well. There was an anti-nade in there. Double rally coming in from Corgi, and the picks coming on to Cogent here. All but threat goes down. That's going to be Intake taking.
Yeah, Intake Goat's taking this fight here, but a lot was invested here. There is no ults on the field at all, actually, from either team. And this is better for Cogent. Cogent's actually in a little bit of a better ult situation in terms of their tank ultimates, whereas Intake Goat's a little bit better on the support ult side. And Nano will build pretty fast, but your Intake Goats, what I said to Cogent before, you need to play this fight slow. You have nothing, unless you happen to catch someone in opposition, you have nothing to finish off this fight right now, and you need to get some kind of ult in order to do it.
Intake might just, they're going very, very fast pace. They lose one. Shatter coming through from Model, possibly not needed. It's not getting really any extreme picks. Huge anti on the two tanks. You're going to be able to take out Model directly from the anti. The picks coming through. Duke can get demacked here. The E of the grab, and without really any ults, Intake about to take this, and they're going to have all their ults for the recontest coming through in what they really shouldn't be able to take here. They're going to seemingly, Koki goes down. It's only the Lucio left stalling. The Winston's going to try and come in, but he's going to have to stall. They cannot lose a single tick here. Transit is going to try and keep this alive as long as possible, but it's 5 ults, such a disadvantage. Anti coming through. Just now we are going to try and keep everyone alive through the grab, bomb, as well as the shatter, as well as the Nano. Model and Spirit both go down from that barrage of ultimates. The Nano went on to pop. Just gonna get demacked. It is so overwhelming here. Cogent aren't able to build this ults up. They're gonna try and get Spirit onto the Moira to try and come back in. Duke, Stingray both go down. It's just the 3 left. Model gonna be focused very quickly here. 1 health does get taken out. Ret even quicker. Spirit down, and that's all 6. And Intake able to take map number 3. Able to take Volskaya Industries.
All right, I'll admit, did not see that coming. Them winning that fight at all. I think that should not have been a fight they took in the first place. But there was, unfortunately for Cogent, there were some misplays on their side there for allowing that to happen. Because neither side had ultimates, and that should not have been something they were able to snowball through. Because they were to just pretty much almost wipe the point with 0 ultimates, like you mentioned, and then have all his ults to stop the re-engagement. And then it just kind of just fell apart there for Cogent, and Intake Goats took the point and the map, bringing them up 1-2 in this series, and actually giving them a little bit of life.
Yeah, well, they really shouldn't have been able to, especially after Intake Goats lost their Reinhardt as the first pick in the fight. But that Ana came in so crucially, got the anti-nade onto the 2 tanks, almost immediately fall. The sleep went in as well. The grab was eaten, and Intake then just built up all the ults. All the stall that came through from the Goats composition was just ulted into nothing. It was suppressed through all the ults. And Intake finally take a map here. Gonna start working their way back into this. It is still anyone's game as we start to get ready for map number 4, an escort map. Do we know what it's gonna be, Headram?
Yes, next map is going to be Rialto. It's been pretty consistently our most pick payload map as we go through this Goats tournament. It is a really good map for Goats, and I think it's probably out of all the payload maps is the best one for Goats. Especially if you're really interested in running the Reinhardt variant of Goats, which is pretty much exclusively what we've seen here in our Goats tournament. Not many teams wanting to opt for the Winston, and really much preferring to run those comfort picks of playing the Rhine and doing the whole Rhine v Rhine matchup. And going into Rialto here, I think if you're Intake Goats, you know, you have a little momentum. You got that fight win, you're not out of it yet. You still have that healthy buffer of knowing that even if you lose this map, you still have another one that Cogent has to win in a row. But again, momentum is really important in these series. You won a map now. You've got in, capitalize on that, and see if you can bring this to a tied-up series.
Yeah, well, Intakes are going to have that advantage in just a moment as we get into that map. They have the possibility of just reversing their fortunes here. Cogent made quite a few mistakes, and if they aren't able to keep their pace of play up that they showed in the first 2 maps, and Intake Goats are able to keep a higher pace of play, even though it may not be to what they were playing the first 2 maps, or even if they're able to increase their pace of play from the first 2 maps, they will be able to take this series here. We're gonna have to see how Cogent keep on playing, if they can keep it up, because the longer this goes, the more it's gonna favor Intake Goats. Or that it might favor Intake Goats the farther it goes. We're gonna see how they do.
Let's go for a little bit of spawn camp here. Not even trying to hide it. They're just sitting right on the point for the spawn camp.
Yeah, usually you try and hold somewhere. The ping gonna come through onto Matt. Takes a lot of damage. Is gonna get healed. The Discord coming through. Matt somehow is alive through everything. Eventually does go down. Boop on the robots off the map here. Now she's gonna go into the backline trying to keep everyone who is retreating. Gonna try and get those kills. Gonna be able to get all but two here. They're gonna try and chase down
got the
Lemon.
glitches on the
He's
map.
gonna get. We do have a very weird glitch on the
Look
map.
at the visual. That's I don't know if I've quite seen that one before. I'm gonna be honest, Neon.
I have never seen this.
Yeah, I was hoping that. I hope they didn't see this during the game. This must be
I don't know.
Every once in a while we do get replay codes that do get a little bit glitchy here, but Sugar Pop going down early here, giving so much opportunity for Cogent to take this advantage.
That she goes down. That is not what you want to see as the first pick, especially with a glitch where you can't see the enemy. This is not. Cogent are just gonna be able to take this here, but it can test at the end. The pin's coming through to try to keep everyone up.
Oh, he falls off too!
Oh! Double right off the map. That's gonna be the point being taken. Just off the sidelines, the point gets taken. A double Reinhardt environmental kills. The rest of the picks coming through. Intake unable to really do much here. Cogent have an heavy ult advantage, at least coming in his next fight for the time being.
Yeah, this kind of goes back to that aggression we were talking about in the first few maps there, where Cogent just has a really well decisiveness, honestly, in their play, where they see their advantage and they push it and take it, whereas Intake goes oftentimes left on the back foot, having to retreat. Intake goes try to do a little bit of aggression early on by doing that spawn camp, but because they didn't try to do it like by surprise, they kind of just sat on the point and got rolled over, honestly. Cogent was just able to sit up there and just poke them until they died.
Ults coming through, bomb, grab, sound barrier, shatter, one after another. Pick comes through on the pop, Matt falls as well. Discord's being thrown left, right, and dead center. The rest of the Intake goats fall.
Oh, another little bit of got a little exercise back in, you know, make sure in between points, you know, gotta stretch a little bit.
Yeah, well, that is a big psychological advantage. If you think you are better, you get that teabag off, you get those squats in. That is just one more layer of I'm gonna beat you here. We see both rallies being used. The stun comes in. Grab sound barrier. A 5-person shatter. Grab transcendence bomb. Everything under the sun being used. Cogent still have an ult left. Intake have none, but they do lose, or Cogent lose their Reinhardt. It's gonna be a huge first pick, and that's not the pick you want. You're gonna also lose Spirit on the Zen, the only ult left on the board. And Intake are gonna be able to hold.
Yeah, and once you hit these third points of these payload maps, these are the ones that are usually most defendable. So this presents a good opportunity for Intake Goats to burn off a lot of time. Cogent right now has 4 minutes and 40 seconds left, so they're not super concerned that they won't be able to cap it, but Intake Goats, you need to burn time. You have a grav, and, well, you had a grav. Now you might be able to.
Grab gets eaten, the bomb comes through, the pin just a bit missed time, but it still gets the pick, and the other picks come through with a bit of a help from an Earth Shaker and a Shatter. It's only pop left, point still being pushed, and Cogent have a pretty good direct route into the end here.
Yeah. So now Cogent has a pretty good position for this one. Oh, a pin coming on the break. Oh, Ryan falling down early. Now, Intake Goats need to build this bomb right now, or this trans, if they want to potentially stabilize.
They're just able to do it before the purple does die, as you say. Robots does go down. Ul's coming through from Cogent, able to just support the team. The Transcendence rally, it's enough. Singer gonna grab off the point. No one's on it. Actually, there is just a bit of contest here. Immediately, Matt's gonna go down. Immediately, Purple gonna get D-Max, still holding the point here. Robots now back on at the Lucio, gonna get taken out rather quickly. No one's left to get back on the point. Cogent, 334. An impressive display.
Yeah, that is an incredibly impressive time in Rialto. I mean, you don't always even cap all 3 points on Rialto, but to cap Rialto with 3 minutes and 34 seconds left, that is really strong. That sends a message to Intake Goat saying, you know, we're you're on notice. That was, I don't know, it just feels like Cogent always has the aggression. They always have the initiative. In Goats, it's so important to be the first team to engage, because especially in Overwatch, it's much easier to plan and then do rather than to react to somebody else's plan. And if you're always the team engages first, you will always have an advantage unless the other team's completely stacked on ultimates, because it forces the other team to just react and be like, oh crap, what do we do? And decisions in that moment aren't really planned out, they're just reacted to. And that's just Cogent's constantly on up, but looks like our wall is still there. Cogent's just constantly pushing forward and picking anti-goats on the back foot. And if you're anti-goats, you need to have this aggression as well. It seems like when they start losing, they start getting more passive. And I think that's going to be an issue if that continues.
I agree with you almost completely on there. Actually, completely on that. Cogent, with the composition you're running with that Reinhardt Goats composition, it is whoever attacks first gets it. If you're playing a Winston, then you can maybe attack second and get a dive onto the supports and get a pick that way. But with this composition, they need to be attacking first. And right now, Cogent, no, it is Cogent defending. It still has not swapped on the top. So that is a bit confusing, but Cogent are the defending here, and they are holding in normal spots, not very close up. Now they start taking the fight onto the payload, on the bridge. Maybe looking for some boops if they can here. Lucio is flying plenty. Brett almost goes down for that might. Matt takes huge damage, able to get bubbled here. Model takes huge damage, got bubble earlier. Not going to have it to really back them out. They're going to have to try and sustain through this here. This works coming through, but they are still going forward. Damage being applied everywhere, and Matt is gonna be first one to go down. But Matt follows Reinhardt this fight here. Both Reinhardts have their ults in all essence here. 97 to having it. Diva gonna go down. Triple no longer in play, and that's gonna be intakes just back up. The grab gonna come through, making sure no one can escape here. And that's gonna be Cogent with a very good defense.
Yeah, there was a long fight before someone really fell, and even without any ults being used. So because of that here, Goes coming up on 6 ults, and Cogent has 5 of their own. So this presents pretty good opportunities for both teams here to take these engagements, but I expect this next fight to be a pretty big ult bash, to be honest. If Goes comes out with their grab bomb combo, they should be able to win this fight unless the castles get, say, a large shatter.
Oh, we see shatter come through, both rallies being popped. Matt coming in with Model with a huge shatter coming through, takes out Matt. The the Transcendence from Lemon gonna come in trying to keep everyone else alive as they retreat. Not what they want to use Transcendence for, but it's gonna keep a lot of them alive for a quick second fight. Pop goes down as well, so does Robots. The Transcendence not even getting a good effect. The rest of the team they want to keep alive for this free fight here does go down.
And this keeps going back to getting so much more value out of your ultimates. I mean, Cogent pretty much just using Shatter and Rally there, just winning the fight right off the bat there, whereas Rally and Trance and Shatter with these fighting goods have got nothing.
Huge grab bomb as well. They're gonna try and take that. They're not unable to really get much from that. Double sound barriers coming through. Can have a bit of room to push forward with what they can. The shatter coming through here, able to take purple out. Corky does get traded here. A bunch of damage coming through. Now the picks come through. It took a second, but they are coming through. Stingray, 1 health taken out. A lot of picks came through. Their shatter comes through, unable to get anything from that shatter. Immediately taken out as they do that. Cogent with a bunch of people down, still gonna hold up to that bridge. Model just saying, even that we're down, we can still hold this far up.
Yeah, this is if you're into Ghost, you should be scared right now, I'm gonna be honest. You have a little bit of ult advantage for this fight here, but you're sub 1 minute now, and Cogent's gonna have 2 fights for this, no matter what.
Yeah, well, Cogent all of a sudden lose 2, but they get 2 counter picks. Rally and Transcendence gonna be in to keep everyone alive. Lemon gonna use that Transcendence as a well a bit later, gonna keep everyone alive a bit longer. Grabber gonna come through, only gets a Diva, but that's a Diva down out of mech. Actually, Purple going in for the Diva gets the counter, or gets counter D-Mech here. Grab on the back line, and Cogent able to take this with 15 seconds left.
Yeah, this has been an incredibly impressive defense here. Just not letting them take any space at all. And Ryan trying to come in here and just, nope, he's like, you know what, never mind, I don't think I will touch. Nope. And will anyone be able to touch? Okay, well, Diva does.
Tries to come in with the pin, does go down. Robot falls as well, and that's not looking good at all. Pop with the rally. Going to be able to just barely touch. Bomb coming through. Gets wrecked, but that might not be enough. The respawn advantage is there, but with no one on point, Cogent are going to go take map 4 Rialto, putting themselves in a great position to take the series.
Yeah, that was an incredibly dominant display there. Their attack completing with over 3 minutes left, and their defense not even letting them get halfway of first point. I mean, I don't think you can really get much more dominant than that. It was just Intake Goats could not take anything. They kept trying to push in, and just Cogent had the response to them every single time. And now you're in a situation if you're Intake Goats, well, Cogent's on map point. They just need to win 1 map. And if you're Intake Goats and you want to win the series, you're going to have to win 3 maps in a row on Cogent's map picks. Like, you get the next map pick, but if you start winning, you're going to have to win every single other map is going to be on Cogent's map pick. And that's hard. You're in a reverse sweep type situation, and what you have to do to win. And that is, a reverse sweep is both, you have to be good enough to do it, but you also have the mental fortitude to push it the entire way there. And we're gonna have to see here if that can happen. But I'm a little bit worried for Intake Goats right now, because they haven't really been showing the aggression that Cogent is, and that's what they need to show if they want to actually be able to pull this off this reverse sweep.
And we will see if they can pull that aggression out when we come back for map number 5. Stick right here, stick right with us. We'll be right back after this short intermission. Hello everybody and welcome back. It is the brightest Neon Project here with
Head Rama.
And we are back for map 5 and map 6. There was a forfeit on Rialto, so end of the game, or end of the day, it is now 2-2. We will definitely see at least a map 6, which makes me very excited here. And map number 5 is going to be Headrammer. I hear you have the information on that.
Oh, let me check the logs here. Oh, look, it's going to be Nepal. Our next map going to be Nepal, and another very good Goats map. Now, there is an inside map that does have a potential for Monkey. I mean, it's possible. We haven't seen it yet, but out of all the points on Nepal, it is a possibility. And I don't know about you, Neon, but I'm really hoping one of these teams decides to return to Monkey.
Oh, we saw that on a bit of the Volskaya stall. Having that as the first main tank out would be a treat. I'd be excited to see a bit of a Monkey. Hopefully we get to see it. We still do have a 6th map that we might see a Monkey. Monkey might come out as we go into this 5th map. I hear that we are ready to go in. Let's see what map it is. It is gonna be Village.
Yeah, it's a very good Goats map. Not really common for Monkey, but looks like both teams gonna be sticking to the Zen. I know we saw Intake Goats experimenting a little bit with the Ana on some of the other points, but I definitely think sticking with the Zen is a better pick here.
Yeah, the Zen worked extremely well, especially on the Village map. Very close quarters. Usually you run a May Reaper when you're not playing Goats. The Zen fits right into the style of this map. The Goats composition fits very well into the style of this map. Possibly the 2nd best behind Lijiang Tower's control center for Goats points on the King of the Hill style maps here. A huge engagement coming right through. The people are going to get pinned here, but immediately Model's going to be taken out. Just immediately caved. The rest of the Intake Goats just caved in onto Model. That's a very early pick, a very potent pick here as Coach are now going to have to back up, and Intakes are able to take the point.
Yeah, they well, it looks like they really want to push this advantage here, but it looks like they smartly decide to back up, and a very good first engagement there. Not really almost anyone died, but look at this fight, still almost like a continuous fight from there. And Cogent doing actually a pretty decent disengage from that. They didn't lose too many and get staggered here. And we're leading up to this next fight here that I expect to have a good bit of ultimates in this fight here, unless someone falls super early.
Roshida's ultimate starting to come online for Intake.
Oh my
god. The Shatter gets 5, gets everyone except for Model. Immediately, Poogie falls. Transcendence and Grab, both gonna get used here. An immediate first pick with a 5-man Shatter. Coming in, Counter Shatter only gets 2. Not gonna be enough to really swing the fight back in the favor. Stingray gonna use that grab. Transcendence to counter that grab. Double bombs coming through Shatter and Sound Barrier. All of it coming through double Sound Barriers. Actually, Robots falls. Just a lot of picks coming through. Onto intake goats here. There's a swap onto the brig as well. And finally, Cogent are gonna be able to take this back, or for the first time.
Yeah, Shatter's doing quite a lot again in those fights. We saw an opening Shatter that shattered 4 or 5 people there. That was immediately responded by some of the support ultimates. And then we saw Model there build another Shatter in that fight. And he shattered both supports in the back, and they couldn't respond.
They could not respond at all. We're going to see Corgi, though, try and respond with a rally here to a bit of a push to keep everyone a bit of armor coming into this fight. And nowhere near the rally on the counter break here. So just have that Shatter up. Matt about to have it for intake. Gonna try and come around here. An immediate, very aggressive push, but a huge Shatter coming through. Gets 2, Pen, and Matt both go down. Lemon people get back up from the Shatter, but it's not gonna be enough to really make any progress on the point. The picks coming through. 3 immediately go down. 4 as well, with Exile jumping off the map.
Yeah, that was a very, very well defended there by Cogent. Just popping the rally. One could argue potentially a little bit early, but they had all that huge amount of sustain, and the Model just dropping another Shatter onto Matt there. And once you lose your Rhine, it's so difficult to come back from a situation like that. Now Intake Goats does have a pretty good variety of ultimates, so does Cogent here. And Intake Goats really need to get value off this grab bomb combo. Otherwise, they're going to be in a... Actually, with how long this fight's going, it might be a last fight scenario here.
It might be last fight scenario. The Cogent might be able to take this very quickly. Grab bomb coming in from Intake. Now bomb and grab coming in from Cogent. The grab kind of splitting off any possibility of a transcendence. Both being used here. Pin goes onto the shattering Matt here. Pen falls as well. Soundbreaker coming in from Robots. Doesn't really get anyone besides themselves and Exos. And that's not what you want to see. You want to get a lot of people. Not many people are able to even take the grab and Cogent, although they lost point for a bit of that fight, they're able to take it back.
Yeah, and Intake Goats did take that point for a little while, like you mentioned, but Cogent kind of worked it back a little bit, and then just retook the point back. And now this is the final fight situation, and the ults are drastically in the favor of Cogent here. Looks like there's a flank Shatter coming up for Model. Shatters the entire backline. All 3 supports shattered. Oh my gosh.
That is a huge, huge Shatter. Takes out the Drake, takes out Zen, and the rest are just gonna crumble. The support ults from Cogent are just keeping them alive. There's nothing Intake can do. They have nothing to counter. There's nothing to call back. They're gonna take Cogent are gonna take map number 1, round number 1.
Yeah, it looks like our squat squad has returned as everyone's making sure to get their exercises in before the next point. And just very, very well played by Cogent, actually. I think Cogent, despite having the technicality which made them forfeit the previous map, you can show right here they're coming back with a vengeance. They were not phased at all by that situation here. And now we do actually are going to the inside point here. So if Team 1's throwing Monkey, this would be the place to do it. But it doesn't seem like any team is teasing the Monkey to us at all. So looks like we'll be sticking with that Rhine mirror.
Yeah, they aren't gonna be used for the moment. There are no swaps, no Monkey. No Monkey, unfortunately enough. But they're gonna come in with, once again, the same composition. Let's see where they go. They're both seemingly gonna take the, actually no, they go 2 separate ways. So they're both gonna be rotating onto the point from the same side here. Very interesting. Cogent gonna be able to take advantage of the point. They're gonna lose that high ground, very small high ground difference, but sometimes that's all it takes. If they do have the point advantage, once point opens, they're gonna get a lot of percentage on to the point. See if they can. Immediately Cogent lose Zen. They lose Spirit on the Zen, but the point is taken here by Cogent, so they just need to stall this out as long as they can. Group on the Pen, taken out. We see Model go down on the right as well. So does Stingray very shortly afterwards. And it looks like Intake might just be able to swap the point, taking this for the first fight here.
Yeah, early point control taken by Cogent there, but through some nice picks on the backline of Cogent, Intake Goats will retake the point. I admit, it's not quite how I would have approached attacking that point, but whatever they did, it did end up working. We're no ultimate investment here. And now they have a grab, they have a bomb, and they have a trance. So they can just go and snowball these alt combos into this next fight, and they should be able to definitely win a fight or two just off the back of those, assuming they execute this correctly.
We'll have to see if they execute it correctly. Even if they do use the ults, they might end up having the next fight an ult disadvantage, and Cogent using those ult advantage onto them. You see the Transcendence come through to counter the Shatter.
Oh, the boop!
As well as Bomb coming through. Oh, it's huge! A boop coming through! Takes that lemon, takes out Pen. That evens the fight up completely. Sound Barrier Bomb both getting used here.
Another boop! Wait, the grab off the when falling off the bot? Actually, the D.Va goes into the grab.
Zarya able to just pop that grab before they die from the boop point. Gonna get swapped back to Cogent here, but the fight's still raging on. It's only really the D.Va. The Lucio does die. Just the D.Va stalling out. Doesn't want to be there much longer.
Yeah, the Lucias of both teams absolutely carrying that fight there. Just getting them off the map. And if you saw R3, he booped the Transcendence off the map. And that's just a drastic amount of healing lost immediately, which forced them to use even more. And that was such a weird engagement too. Intake Ghost was actually originally slow on the rotation because Cogent actually had worked their entire way around and weren't met by Intake Ghost first. But that was a crazy fight. These Lucius are getting amazing value at this point. Who needs a monkey when you have the Lucio?
Yeah, and who needs the monkey when you have two support ults? The two support ults to sustain through any fight. Cogent are going to be able to keep this alive until overtime, essentially. Here, gonna have that Transcendence. They're gonna have that sound barrier. Intake only really have the grab up right now. They're gonna be able to build the rest of their ults, or a good amount of their ults, through the fight here. Other ults being built up from Cogent, the Reinhardt, but two picks come through. Pen and Matt both go down for Intake Ghost. That's not what you want to see this deep into a round.
I mean, this is if they keep pushing in here. I mean, this is about to be the end here. There's did anyone even touch? I don't think so. No, and that's gonna be the end of it.
That no one able to touch there. A bunch of ults get used, but if it's not on the point, it doesn't count. It doesn't keep the game going, and that's it. All the ults just being used in the spawn 2 point area. No one on the point. Cogent once again come in. They take the King of the Hill style map very dominantly, putting us in a match point situation here.
Yeah, that was a incredibly dominant display from Cogent. I feel like I almost feel like I'm on a repeat here, saying Cogent's play is very dominant, because I really feel like they've been in control of the series the entire time. Is really just what it feels like. And if that previous technicality hadn't happened, they would have won the series with this map. And you could just tell they were not fans of losing that previous map, and they just came in there with a vengeance, pretty much just running through them. Honestly, the support's getting amazing value. Zen's just was burning people down with the trances, and the boops from the Lucios just getting so much value. It's actually crazy.
Well, Coach, actually their first map loss was on Volskaya Industries when Intake Ghosts took their first map in the series. Cogent coming back with a vengeance, as you said, for their first map loss, and they now have a chance to kind of scratch that little asterisk right off, coming into map number 6. Headrammer, what is it gonna be? Yeah,
so this map is actually going to be Nimbani, which actually I'm surprised about, because I didn't, with how these teams have been playing, I wouldn't have thought Nimbani would have been a kind of a go-to map for these teams in a hybrid paths. Though there isn't a whole, since they already used their first hybrid map, it did kind of limit the options they had available, because King's Row was the first hybrid map they chose, and between Nimbani, so basically they were able to choose between Nimbani and Eichenwald. And actually I would have expected Eichenwald based on the style these two teams were playing, but I guess these teams feel that Nimbani is just their way to go. Maybe Intake Ghost is trying to spice things up a bit.
Maybe there is a lot of use of the Ana on Nimbani. Usually see if the team plays with the Ana better than the Zenyatta, they'll usually go with Nimbani. That might be what Intakes are going for here, or at least hoping that their Zen play on the high ground is better than Cogent's high play on, or Zen play on the high ground. We'll have to see as we go into map number 6. Cogent could take it here, or Intake could set it to a winner takes all going into map 7. We'll have to see as this goes through. And as I said, we see that Ana.
We do see the Ana, but again, Intake Ghost really seems to like to run Ana on attack. Or I feel like Ana should be if you're choosing to run Ana, I really feel like it should be played more on the defense. Especially because you have this high ground. if you're able to sit on this high ground, be relatively safe, and throw down nades on the other team, especially while shooting your team from the other side of the point. It makes you in a much safer position and also be able to get much more value. I think the Ana can get value here if you're able to take this high ground away from them on the attack. But that's going to be hard without the Discord. So we'll have to see if Lemon's able to get like a large nade here to get enough value.
Well, the inherent usage of the Ana in a Goat's composition is an attacking nade. That is what you go for with the Ana. Get that nade off as early as you can onto as high priority target as you can. And immediately, Spirit's gonna go down and actually can open the door for Intake to just roll through this point. They're gonna try and get whatever they can here. We're gonna see if any real big impact plays happen. A tick's already taken, possibly a second. Now the test is gonna come through at 65% here. You're gonna see picks come through. Duke gets the pin on to Pen and then dies for their troubles. Model and Duke swap their roles here. Anti's coming through onto both the Divas and Brett. We see Spirit coming back as the Ana, so both teams are running the Ana. For the first time in the series, we're going to see a mirror Ana. A bunch more picks coming through. Intake not looking too good after that. We see Spirit getting 2 final blows, and that's going to seal the deal for the first fight.
So interestingly enough, after this, we had Intake go to the Ana in attack and the Zen on the defense. Now they've swapped. So now their Ana's on the defense and the Zen is on the attack. And the fight actually looks so good for Intake Go to start out with. Like, we talked about the concern with the Discord being the Zen when trying to push in this corner. Well, I guess that doesn't matter if you kill the Zen immediately.
Yeah. And it doesn't matter if the enemy can't take the healing from the Zen with the anti-nades. We'll see how this goes through. One big anti could be all they wrote. The Shatter, grab, rally, all of it coming through the sleep. And Intake Go just lose 3. Gonna lose 4 here. If Exodus isn't able to back out, they do lose the mech and the Diva shortly thereafter. Cogent gets an incredibly efficient fight.
Yeah, and you called it out earlier that Model and Duke had swapped the roles. Duke originally on the Diva and Model originally on the Rhine. I wonder why that is. I felt the two were performing very well. And again, they had just dominantly beat Intake Goats in the last fight, so I'm really curious what the reason for this is. If it's just to be, a little bit of overconfidence, maybe a little bit of trolling. I don't think they're performing bad right now. I'm just curious on the reason.
I would have to say it's probably just to give them a bit of rest. They know they can lose the next map. For this map, double bombs coming through. Corgi and Duke both go down. A huge play coming in from Intake Goats. They're just gonna push every ounce they can get out of this. Take the Lucio. They do lose their Zarya, but that's not gonna be enough. Diana goes down as well. It's only really the Diva left, and that's gonna be point being taken. But as I said earlier, they might be swapping Duke and Model just to get a small break. This is a long series, and they know that if they lose, they still have another map that they can take it. So that might be the reason why.
Yeah, and they did get the ball rolling here. And second point is oftentimes a different one to hold for the defense. Second point a lot of times is considered to be sometimes free. So we'll have to see if this, if they're actually able to form some kind of defense here. Now we do have grab coming up on the side of Intake Goods, which could not be an opportunity, but this nano coming in could be big.
Could very well be big. Shatter gonna come through. Rally Soundbarrier coming in, trying that. Another Shadow coming through. See Soundbarrier and Nano coming in to try and counter that. You see Pen go down. The break no longer there. Already used that rally, so it's not that much of a concern, but they won't have that whole counter rally. Is online. Just off the map, all the tanks. Seemingly there's a party in the void. 3 go down in one fell swoop. Cogent take a bit of, they get the better side of that, only losing their Zarya. But Intake are able to start pushing the point.
Yeah, and I did get some information that apparently we were slightly incorrect about the whole swaps of Model Castle. Apparently there was multiple Model Castles on this team. There's a Model Castle 5 and a Model Castle 2. And apparently the hand cam died for Model Castle 5, so Model Castle 2 was put in. I know, it's very confusing. Look at that name.
Indeed, but what's not confusing is all the ults coming through. It is effective as well. Picks one after another. 2 down for Intake, but Cogent only down 1, and the Intake now just gonna lose 2 more. That's gonna be the death knell of this fight. Lose the Diva as well right off the map.
Yeah, and Spirit Waffle actually getting quite a lot of value with these anti-nades right now. You saw it being thrown into the Grav, and just, I think it hit 3 people and people just get melted. How are you gonna survive in a grab when you can't get any healing at all? Goats is based on a lot of healing with all, you know, you have so much sustain, and if you don't deny that, the entire comp is over.
You really do need to just block that, because as you're saying, the bomb's gonna come through. Gets the Reinhardt, a huge pick coming through on the Duke. Shatter's just gonna be wide open season to get as many people as they want with that picks coming through galore. A counter trade from onto the Lucio, but it's not gonna be enough. The point is taken.
Yeah, we had a really interesting interaction there. The Brig jumping off the high ground, shield bashed the bomb, so it fell to the ground. Unsure if it was intentional, but it was kind of a pretty cool interaction here. And we do have a grab coming on the side of Cogent here on the defense, but right now Intake Ghost is actually doing pretty well in the attack.
Yeah, that grab is gonna get used kind of as a transcendence here. No one really can die. Nano coming through. Immediately, Spirit goes down, but not getting that Nano off. Shatter coming through. Doesn't get much. You can see the grab and the rally coming through. Gets another pick from that. Soundberry gonna try to go alive. Bomb comes through, doesn't get anything. Reinhardt gonna go down as well. Pick onto Stead. Limit on that, and that is a huge kind of pick. That's gonna allow really try and make a defense here, and they're going to try it. They lose a rep. They lose Spirit. And now back onto that Zenyatta. They lose the Brig. There's no longer any support coming through. Bomb coming through. Unable to get anything. Gonna get DMAC just as they come back in. Number was used by Duke. He does die as well. Now Model falls on Diva out of Mac. There's no one left on the point. And Intake Group's gonna be able to take all 3 points. Round 1 goes to them.
Yeah, that was very interesting. If we took away the names right here and just watched the play, I would have assumed the team was attacking was Cogent. It really just seems like these teams had completely swapped places in terms of the aggression. Right now, Intake is being incredibly decisive. This is exactly what I've been looking for them the entire time. And I'm just really happy to see it. They completed the map with 1 minute and 33 seconds left on, again, another map, but not always 3 points are capped with time over a minute. And that's it's very good. It seems like it seems like the teams had swapped their ideas on how they want to play. Intake Goats was always the one that was trying to run the Ana, and now Cogent was running the Ana. I think they were playing Ana fine, and they were getting a decent amount of value off the nades, but it just felt like the Discord was putting so much more pressure on them. And now actually we see Intake Goats potentially run the Ana again. So, I don't know. It feels like these teams have almost swapped in times how they were playing. That's what I'm watching right now.
Yes, I agree with you there. Intake Goats had to really swap to what Cogent were, the pace of play that Cogent were running with, because they're on attack. They have everything to lose right now. Cogent, they can lose a map and be completely fine. They still have another one. Intake cannot lose another map at all. And now they're going to come in with the Ana on that defense. Cogent, though, going to come in with an attack. We'll see what they can do. We know they're extremely lethal. Will they be able to do it this time as well?
Yeah, we got to say we'll have to see if this Ana can actually get the value they need. I have to do some work on defense, but they are going to go below here and pretty much just run straight at the point.
Immediately on the point, very quickly. A huge anti comes through, and 3 support and 2 more, I believe. The Diva immediately taken out. That is not what you want to see so quickly from the attack. Just dead so fast. A bit of damage onto everyone retreating, and that's it right there off a huge anti.
Yeah, and that's exactly, if you're going to run the Ana, that's exactly what you need to do. You need the value off those anti-nades, and if you can't get that, it's not going to work. And Lemon already up to 50% to the Nano, and it looks like they decided to push this high ground this time. They don't want the nades thrown on top of them.
No, those nades are not going to be thrown on top of them, but they're going to be thrown to the side of them if they're not careful here. Anti comes through, and it's another huge anti. That's it right there. The anti wins another fight almost by itself. All the assists right there.
Yeah, that was a pretty decisive fight right there. And now we're getting those situations where, you know, you keep winning these fights and you keep snowballing your ultimates. And that can be a dangerous thing. Usually once you get the situation where you run, if you win like 2 fights in a row, you're usually in a very good spot, especially if you don't have to dump all your ultimates. And right now, it seems like every time Cogent's pushing, they're pushing a different direction. They're pushing main, they're pushing below, they're pushing top. It seems like they're not really sure how to catch this.
We're gonna try everything throw everything at the wall until it sticks. We're gonna see a graph thrown to the wall, and it's stuck. but it didn't get anything itself. They lose the Zen, and that's almost it, really. There's the rest of the team Nancy trying to get something here. The Intake stops it. Nano, everything under the sun from Intake Coach gets used. The counter pick onto, but it's just not enough to swing the fight into Cogent's favor.
Yeah, now we're under the 2-minute mark here. Oh, a late stagger kill on the D.Va. Yeah, we're on the 2-minute mark here. If there's any opportunity for them to the cap point, this is probably going to be it. Simply because Intake Coach only has a Lucio beat. Now, Cogent has a trance. It's coming on a grab. He's going to have a bomb. If you can build this grab and grab bomb combo to them, you should be in an excellent spot. But it's going to be hard if you invest in this fight and lose.
Yeah, Cogent gonna try and do something here. They need to do something. They're gonna throw that bomb in. It's gonna turn everyone around. And the Reinhardt from Intake dies. Immediately, the Zarya dies as well. Grab it on the low ground. Just and able to get a lot through. Intake's coming through, but it's finally, there's no real damage able to be applied onto the Zancies. No capitalization coming through. 2 supports go down, make it 3. The D.Va caught in the mega room, and that's all 6 down. Cogent finally able to take points.
Yeah, usually in GOATs, I don't really... In GOATs and also in a lot of play in general, I usually don't like D.Va bomb engages, especially with Cogent being so close to the grab. The grab bomb combo is usually very strong. But it does work out. They do get the pin, they get a kill with it, but Intake Goats pretty much used very little in that fight. So they have almost 5, 6 ultimates coming up online here. Of course, Cogent having 4 as well. So if Intake can burn some time here, again, they know they capped all 3 points.
Yeah, and they're gonna try and they're gonna come in with just all the ults here, making sure they win this fight. Everything gonna use. It's Intake gonna be the first one that goes down. They lose. They lose Brig, and they're gonna lose Reinhardt as well. A counter pick going on to Spirit, onto that Zen, but it's not gonna be enough to stop the momentum of Cogent.
Yeah, looks like this Cogent's kind of starting to refine their life a little bit. They were really lacking on their initial attack of first point and their defense, but they started to get themselves rolling. They got their ultimates going down, and now we actually have the Ana mirror. Which I don't know how we've quite gotten to this point. I guess one team's like, you know what, nades are getting value. I want a nade too. But now they're going for this high ground grab.
They're going to be able to get it off pretty effectively here. No picks from it, but it's going to keep the point rather uncontested for a bit. Huge antis coming through. Sound barrier, grab, rallies, everything, shatters, everything. If you have an ult, you are going all in with it. Another shatter comes through. Everything. Gonna use bomb now coming in as well. Reinhardt is down from the side of Intake. That's gonna be Cogent's just go signal. Get another pick from that. Just gonna try and snowball the rest of this stall. Able to come through rather big. D.Va D-mexed up on the high ground. Another pick comes through onto the Lucio, and that's gonna be it for the hold on second. Cogent now just need to take that last point with a lot of time remaining.
Yeah, we actually found ourselves in a weird situation where it's technically possible that Cogent can complete with more time. I don't think they will, because Intake Goats has this bomb, they have this grab, and they actually might just bomb them in this corner here. This is one of the best spots on the map to throw a D.Va bomb in, just because there's so many little places you can actually avoid it from.
See if that bomb does come in. We see the grab come through, the nano come through as well. Nano and grab getting
God, that shatter.
Top as well. Shatter gets
another
huge
one.
Numbers. It is everything. Double shatters. So much coming.
Everyone's
through.
dead.
A bomb. It's a bomb. It's so even right now. Pick after pick is even almost.
Yeah, but you don't want to be trading this much with the defense though. They can come back in on this.
Yeah, the defense does have the respawn advantage, as you say here, and it's going to continue this fight. Bomb coming in. A huge pick onto the Zen, who's just swapped from the Ana now. And back in, the Reinhardt is going to get traded. A pin coming through. Doesn't quite take out the rallying Brig. Almost. It's actually going to be the Reinhardt that goes down very quickly after that. Antis, I believe, coming in there. You see the sound barrier, though, being a huge help for Cogent's attack, keeping everyone alive as Intake Goats start to come back in with their respawns. The respawn timer is so fast, especially in a Goat's composition when you can get back so quickly. There's so much ult charge. It is very hard to really win this last fight. And we're seeing that here as it just stalled out incredibly long. That favors Intake Ghost every single second. They're going to be able to come up with those ults. Shatter on the line. We'll see what they can get from it. They come through.
Hit everyone.
Yeah, it's everyone. That's everyone. 3 go down right off it. 4, 5, make it only all but 1. Red just able to escape. Intake Ghost able to come out with a successful hold.
Yeah, and it gets that shatter from Matt coming out is like a shatter from Model Castle from earlier in the series where they were just winning fights exclusively off a shatter. That shatter just won them that entire engagement there, and now they're in an excellent spot. This is gonna be final fight coming up here, and they have a lot of ults.
They're gonna have a lot of ults, and they're gonna use them here. Double grabs popped up at almost the same time. Transcendence bomb pick gonna go on to Rat, and the bomb, it's huge, getting so many picks, and that's just it for Cogent's attack. Only On is left alive. They might not even be able to get back onto the point before it's over if Intake are able to hold far forward.
Yeah, so that actually lost that fight so quickly that they will get another touch on this point. And they have Shatter, they have Nano. Intake only has the beat drop, so actually this does potentially present an opportunity. They could hit a big Shatter, and actually they do.
Huge Shatter coming through. The Nano combat with it as well. The Sunbear going to come in, try and keep everyone alive, and it does do so effectively, at least for the time being. It's going to, Duke is first one to go down. Rally going to come through. Bomb into the backline. Going to get something. No, it does not. Rally, counter Rally come through. Soundbearer going to come in from Cogent as the Lucio gets back. As Intake Lucio goes down. Pick for pick here. It's extremely close. Koji does go down, no longer Brig in play. We see Matt coming in with that Shatter, getting another pick off that grab as well, and that's just Cogent being destroyed from those bolts coming in, and Intake able to tie the series up 3-3, sending us into a map 7 for all of the series.
Yeah, this is this has been a crazy series so far, and Intake it's really finding their motions there, and I think they chose correctly. The pick of Numbani really suited with what they wanted to play, and they got more value off of the Ana than I expected, forcing the Ana mirror.
Yeah, and now it's going to be Cogent's pick as we go into the map 7. They're going to have a bit of time to deliberate on that. We will be right back. This will be the last intermission of the series. Even if this next map, the 2CP map, is a draw, we still have map 8, which is an escort that will have a guaranteed winner. So stay right there, stay right with us. We'll be right back for the conclusion of this epic final series. Hello everybody and welcome back. It is the brightest Neon Project here with
Ed Rema.
And we are here for the conclusion of this finals series, and oh my, what a series it has been between Cogent and Intake Ghost.
Yeah, it really has. This series has been incredibly back and forth. With actually, I'd say the first part of the series was actually felt like it was entirely dominated by Cogent. But in this last map here, Intake Ghost really finding signs of life and bringing some of that like sinister aggression that Cogent had through most of the series. And if they can keep this up from this final map, again, we talked about momentum earlier. Getting momentum in the later part of a series is super important. Many of these series end up of who can adapt last. Adapting and changing your flow in a series is very important, and if you can be the team that adapts last, then you're most likely to win it. It's because if you're not the one that's adapting, you're losing. And for this final map, we will be going to Havana. What are your thoughts on Havana, Neon?
Havana is a great map. A lot of long sight lines. That's going to be very interesting how it plays out. Usually not that well suited for Ghost composition. Not that much sprawl. Not that much small enclosed space that Brawl really thrives in. So we might see an Ana, we might see a Moira, we might see the Winston, we might see a lot of different elements of other Ghost compositions, not just the normal Brian, Zen, running back. We might see some other stuff getting played here. We've already seen the Ana multiple times on Bonnie. We saw the Winston a bit on the Stall Sky, so there's a lot of potential for this last map to come in. Since it is Havana, we will have a winner almost guaranteed I can't wait to get to see who wins this series if we go right into the map.
Yeah, I do feel like that we'll probably see stick to the Zen part. You really only see the only place I could really see you potentially play Ana on this map would really be if you're trying to spawn camp first point. But because then the Ana could sit back and heal from there, but you could also be cut off pretty easily too. And I feel like it'd just be easier, especially with the re-engagement, to stick with the Zen and Zen. There's so many long sight lines that Zen could just fire down and do a lot of damage. And we found throughout the series just the most consistent support is Zen, and that is what the pros found out when they were running goats, and it's just kind of how it is. Zen puts down so much damage, having a second support ult and just consistent output just allows you to just burn down these targets.
It is time tested for this goat composition that Zen is usually the one you go with. Very early spawn hold attempt here from Intake Goats. You can try and get everything they can out of this timer. A lot of damage being applied to both Reinhardt's. Matt gonna be the one to go down very quickly. Pen seemingly gonna go down next here, although not quite. It's gonna be Robots, then Purple, and then Pen, maybe? Just maybe a lot of damage being applied onto Intake Goats. Either way, Lemon falls, Pen, Exodus does go down. And finally, Pen goes down. All 6 go down in Cogent. They're going to start making a lot of progress onto the point.
And again, we were back to our leg stretches there, and that was there was an attempted spawn camp there from Intake Goats, but it it did not last that long. Cogent breaking it pretty fast as they just sectioned off Matt on the Rhine, bashing him with their shield and just bringing him down immediately. Now, I like this play right here from Stingray, taking this high ground here, allowing you to just fire down from above. Well, okay, he's gonna drop down, but I thought he could do a pretty good job there, just laying down the damage.
Yep. See that damage come throughout the fight, but no longer is the Zen able to do so. Huge header coming through. Gonna try and capitalize onto that. It does come through and takes a lose 2, making up 3, 4, making up for that early loss 5. Now it's only the Lucio left, and eventually they do go down. Intake Goats lose all 6 once again. Cogent gonna start pushing in again.
Okay, so Intake Goats actually has quite a good bit of ults here. If they engage this all as one, they're gonna have pretty much 6 ults. So they could definitely take this engagement here and win it off of a grab bomb. That's what they really need to do here.
Okay, they're gonna have plenty of time to do it. The ults coming in. Bomb, double rallies, a bomb coming through as well. Grab, countered by the Transcendence. Pin trying to get something. It gets the Brig. Not what they wanted. They want to try and get the bomb. They want to try and get the Reinhardt for that bomb potential. Not exactly what they want, but it's good nonetheless. Cogent has the backup. Joey coming through doesn't really get anything here. Intake not gonna back up. Really getting a defensive stronghold here.
Yeah, that was a really good engagement. I mean, they did pretty much exactly what I said they needed to do here. And now, actually, Cogent's still kind of low on the ultimate. 2 support ults on the side of Intake Goats here. And we have seen in the past teams get full held here on this first point of Ana. And oh my gosh, that shatter.
Yeah, it is huge. Immediately the break goes down. We're going to see sound barriers come in. A lot of ults as well. We're going to see that Transcendence come through. And Reinhardt falls for Intake Goats. And Cogent just need to sustain through this fight, and they will take it. They're going to get pinned onto the Diva D-Max. The Brig going to get counterpicked, but the Zen gets counterpicked on top of that. Cogent able to get one more pick before taking the point.
Model Castles just dropping them after Shatter, and while Intake Goats did get off the support ultimate, it just wasn't in time to prevent the Brig from being burned down, and losing your Brig loses quite a lot of sustaining onto this. Now, this next fight here, Intake Goats does have the high ground, but I mean, they have their combo up. Cogent has grab bomb. Oh my god, look at the E from Purple Panther! That was amazing!
Eat the Diva. Purple just knew it was coming. Saw the Diva, saw the Zarya out of position there. Was ready for it, able to take it. You see the pin coming through, take out Pen, Shatter coming through as well, and the rest of Intake. Even though they got a great eat on the grab, it's not gonna be enough to just win through this fight here. Purple's just gonna die on point. Stalling out for a good amount of time here, but overall, Intake Goats once again have to go to the respawn doors.
Yeah, and despite that like amazing eat from Purple Panther on the Diva, it just was not enough for Intake Goats to win this fight here. And Intake Goats does have the grab bomb combo, but to re-engage it. So they can engage us like they did last time. The only downside is they don't have the support ult they had last time they tried to re-engage on first point.
They're gonna have to try and pull something out. They're gonna pull in the bomb and the grab. Transcendent's gonna try and do something, and it's a huge bomb coming through. Took out the rallying Corgi. Model fell as well. Back on that Ryan. Dude, even we didn't mention that. He is gonna get the mech here. Bit of a pin or stun on the rat. Gonna die. They take finally get another stronghold on the second point.
Yeah, that was... I'm actually surprised that worked as well as it did. It seemed like Matt on the Ryan missed the pin on the other Ryan. But they were luckily still able to get 2 picks off that Diva Bomb combo. But Cogent's getting dangerously close to their own grab bomb combo. So there's quite a lot of support ults on the side of Intake Goats here.
They're gonna come in, but they're not quite there yet. They're gonna have to build it up throughout this fight. We see Lemon build it up just as the fight begins. Pen and Robot's gonna build that up through it as it comes through. Bomb gonna come in the back line, takes Lemon out. Matt falls, Exile falls. 3 down, and Cogent are just gonna try and take the entirety of the second point here without really much of a fight from Intake Goats, and they just will be able to do it here.
Yeah, I guess turns out support ults don't matter if your supports are dead. So you can have as many support ults in the world, but if your supports unfortunately fall due to bomb and pin, then they just kind of push right through here. Now they're gonna have 2 minutes and 34 seconds here to push third point, and then they're gonna go for this and grab immediately.
Gonna beat it, grab immediately countered by the Transcendence. No one really got him. Now we're gonna see the rally come in. Ryan takes Ryan off map. A Ryan-less fight here. But an extremely interesting fight every single time. Respawn favors Cogent. It's right there. Gonna have to back up eventually.
Oh, another grab beat.
A huge grab beat, as you say. Shadow gonna come through from the respawning Grindheart. Just gonna try and get everything that they can. They get this. They get the Zen. They get the Brig. And that's what happens if you don't push back when you do not have the respawn advantage here. Cogent gonna start pushing major headway onto the point after Lucio's stall is done.
Yeah, that grab beat really sets the tone for being able to just stop the re-engagement from Intake Goats. Eating that grab doesn't allow them to do Diva Bomb combo. Even though a lot of these teams actually aren't doing a whole lot of Diva Bomb combos, Intake Goats has been doing it more than Cogent has, and that just, the momentum didn't stop.
Yeah, momentum is keeping up. We see the bomb go through, doesn't get anything. You're gonna see a rally come in from Corgi. This time we're gonna come in from Robots. This fight is just kind of going through. Shatter definitely is shown here that they have it. Doesn't use it so far though. Well, it's heavily favoring Cogent, but one big Shatter could make the change. The bomb coming through, the pin comes through. Nothing off the bomb. Time to come through, try and keep this fight alive, sustain through the fight. Shatter gonna come through, and it's huge. Gets at least 3 there. Trent's gonna try and come back in to sustain through this fight. Shatter gonna try and get as much as it can. Gets quite a few. Gets a tank line completely, and the rest of the picks gonna follow up. Intake gonna have to come in with something of a respawn if they want to try and hold this.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to touch it. They just want to hold the spawn door, but Purple Panther trying to stall a little bit of time, but just was not able to get there.
The respawns are going to come in just to stall it enough. They're going to try and keep this to overtime, although it's not likely that they'll be able to. Only the Zarya left, and that is going to be Cogent taking all 3 points.
Yeah, that will be, again, they capped all 3 points here. I'm surprised how many times we're seeing teams cap all 3 points in this series, because it really is not that common of a thing, especially on Havana. Havana third point is hard to attack, and I really dislike Havana third point, honestly, in my opinion. But the fact that Cogent was able to come out here and cap all 3 points with time. Now it is under a minute, but in payload it doesn't really matter if it's under a minute, as long as you just cap with time. That's all that matters. Actually, you can even not cap time and still get a minute from the time. So payload's a little bit different with that one compared to 2CP. But that does put Intake Goats on notice here. If you're Intake Goats, I think you're going to be a little concerned right now, because you know they capped all 3, and you know you have to do it, and how hard it is to do. Now I see Lemon teasing his Ana again, and I don't think I like it. Now I could see. Okay, I will clarify. I think it could work here initially if you're expecting the spawn camp from Cogent, and you could take the Ana and have the Ana flank, and just throw a nade on the team and then run them over. That could work. I don't know if that's what he's gonna go for, but that could work here.
You'll see the Ana nades are extremely lethal, especially if you're potent with them. If those nanos come or antis come through, they will completely change the complexion of this fight and give Intake Goats a really good shot getting all three. They just need to map
Yana is
with any.
flanking. Yana is flanking.
Interesting. Immediately, the fight going to be taken at the spawn doors. That's what you do on Havana almost every single
Nate hits
time.
two.
Just come in. The inside's coming through. Cogent immediately onto the have to pull back a bit, but not before getting the Reinhardt and the Diva both down. The anti just not enough to swing the fight. Too much damage coming through. The Zarya falls as well, and that's just the entire tank line gone, as well as the brick.
Yeah, so it looks like they did do what I was talking about, trying the Ana to flank nade there, but unfortunately the nade just, I think it both took too long and it wasn't big enough, unfortunately. But I do like the idea for it, but I think after now that didn't work, they probably should swap off the Ana.
No, they're still going to keep the Ana first one to go down. The nade comes through, but it's not going to be enough. Shatter comes through as well from, I believe, Cogent there. Just kind of stalling the fight out.
Yeah, I know they've won a few fights here, so they're kind of coming up on their ultimates. I think it was really not close to much of anything besides potentially a rally. And the grab bomb combo is coming up for Cogent.
Yeah, it's going to be a very important bomb or ult combination. Immediately, Intake Goats lose a lot of health on their round. The grab going to come through, not paired with anything at the moment, but it's not going to be need to be paired with anything. 3 ults come online, but 3 picks come in on Intake Goats. Diva falls as well. Make it.
Yeah, this is something that starts to test your mental fortitude here. If you're Intake Goats, you need to remain strong at this point. You know they capped all 3 points, so you're probably getting nervous that you've been hitting spawn camp for a while now. And you need to remain strong and keep pushing.
Yeah, and they're gonna try and push with the Shatter. Double rallies, counter Shatter coming through. Everything is getting used. Soundbarrier gonna come in from Intake Goats. They're gonna use that Nano as well. Grab coming through, countered by both the Soundbarrier and the Transcendence, but the countered by the anti-nade. Took out the Reinhardt. Bomb gonna come through, doesn't get anything off of it immediately. A bit of displacement. That's not gonna be much when the Goats are so quick here. Immediately on the point, the Zarya dies. Diva's still trying to hold the point as long as he can, but eventually will either back up or get demeched here. Gonna be able to start pushing the point finally after so much time taken out.
This is an amazing stall. I mean, this has been a spawn camp that lasted 2-3 minutes now, and that's really expensive if you're Intake Goats. You need it all the time. You need to be all the time you can to get the 3rd point. And now they've burned off so much time that you have less than a minute and a half left. And they're going to get another fight in this. They're going to have grab, they're going to have shatter against grab bomb. So, okay, early bomb against the grab. I think go far enough.
Yeah, nothing really got from that. Shatter comes through as well. Bomb is able to take out the Diva mech, but that's not that much. It is still huge, though, and that might be what Intake, if they can control this, if they can capitalize on that, they could start to go through. But a huge counter Shatter going to come through, takes the Reinhardt out of play. Rally going to come up. Both rallies are up. They're trying to keep something, but Cogent going to push that one-person advantage. Intake going to back up. Going to try and find something coming in this next fight.
Yeah, that you're now in worst case scenario for Intake Goats. You have less than a minute left. You do have a grab and a trance coming up here, but there is a trance and almost a grab bomb on the other side. This is dangerous. This is really bad. You need someone to pop off. You need someone to make a play.
Yeah, they're going to try and do just that. The grab coming through, going to get countered by the Transcendence, as you said. Going to try and get whatever they can off of that counter trance that's going to come through. That is going to allow Cogent's grab and bomb to just come through and sweep. They're going to try and get that. Nothing off of that combo. Shatter going to come through. Both Soundbarriers coming through as well. Intake Goats lose 3. Lose the fight coming into the very end here.
We got the teabags.
Able to get back onto the point, and Cogent are your final winners here. 4-3 in an incredibly close map, incredibly close series throughout. They are your Goats champions for Tier 4.
Yeah, that was, again, just incredibly impressive with Cogent. This has gone 7 maps, but it really felt like almost all, except for a few opportunities within this series, felt like Cogent was really in control. Intake Goats did a good job of making it competitive and never really letting go. But this last map, I think especially on their attack, it seemed like they just fell apart there. After getting spawn camp for that long, and even like after they had started to win that last fight, Cogent just stalled so much longer. They just like were scrappy all around and just burned so much time. And especially when they lost the second to last fight there, they were just in such a bad situation. It just all around impressive from Cogent, and that they were able to stay so aggressive and so confident throughout the entire process. And also impressive to Cogent that they were able to remain competitive for so long. Because I've been on the kind of team that's been on the back foot, and it's really hard. When you start to realize, especially all of these finals are high pressure. You realize that like this is everything, and for some players they've never been in those final situations before. You said some of these teams have had incredible map records, and not many of them have lost. And losing is something that it sounds weird, but like you need to practice losing. You need to know what it feels like to be on that back foot, and that experience from being in losing situations can help you turn around and win those series, because you're not as afraid. When you start to realize you're losing, a lot of times the natural impulse for people is to get afraid. You start to realize you're losing, you're like, oh crap, we're not going to win. That realization goes through you, and it can make you play worse. It makes you play passive, it makes you play scared, or suddenly you're not confident. You stop trusting your teams, you stop listening to comms, and this energy falls apart.
Yeah, that happens quite a lot, and especially if you go into a 3-3 when you haven't ever lost a map from Cogent. They're able to bring it back, though, very much like we saw on Rialto with those escort maps. Cogent just so lethal, not even letting intake take a single point, wanting to get it done as quickly as possible and having the ability to just stop them in their tracks. Intake Goats put up a great fight, almost took this series, but Cogent just one round better, able to take it. They are your champions. As we wrap up your Headrammer, anything you want to plug real quick?
Well, I think we should talk about MVPs.
Oh,
yeah.
We could talk about MVPs. That is true. That is true.
Yeah. So I think
I have nowhere to start from that, though.
Yeah.
I would have no clue.
No, don't worry. I'll take it. So I think obviously both teams had players that played incredibly well. So naturally, our MVP does have to come from the winner, though. I think my MVP is probably going to be Model. Honestly, I talked about this throughout the entire series. Model on that Reinhardt was, I think, a really large difference maker in this series. He won so many fights off of hitting a shatter that just wiped the enemy team or gave them such an advantage that it seemed to always keep the ult economy in their favor because they kept winning these fights off of shatter. Him, especially with the combo with Corgi, getting those like bash shatters and being able to set all that stuff up, bash pins, like there was so much good value off these shatters that I personally think, despite everyone else playing incredibly well on Cogent, I think it's to be very difficult to give it to anybody else.
I would be inclined to agree with you there, Headrammer. Model played extremely lethally throughout the entire series. Didn't really let the play up while they were still on that main tank roll. Even when there was a bit of a swap on that main tank, still always throughout. And now we get to the end of the stream. Before that, though, who do you think was the MVP? Put that in the Twitch chat right over there. Let's hear what you have to say.
Do you agree? Do you hate my decision? Let me know. I'll take all opinions. I'm right though, so that's just what it is. I'm sorry. If your opinion's that not Model, you're wrong. I do see a little R3T shout out in the chat there. R3T did have some pretty good boops on Paul. I'll give you that. But I think it's for sure Model, in my opinion.
I would have to say that RT3 had possibly the highest consistent play without really many hero plays besides those bloops. A lot of great, just overall highest level of standard play throughout the entire series. But we are at the end of the stream here. Headrammer, anything you want to plug as we start to go home?
Yeah, so take a look at all the CGL socials down below our faces here, or below Neon's face, because my face is not currently here. Give us a follow on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. If you haven't already followed this channel, CGL1, please do. We do these broadcasts for Overwatch quite a lot, and you're going to see the rest of the GOATS finals throughout the rest of this week, and maybe a little bit next week, depending when Xbox Tier 6 plays their match. And then we also, we run tournaments for a lot of other games too. If you want to play Overwatch in our tournaments for, again, all ELOs, from gold up to top 500. please join our Discord. Discord.gg/console Overwatch is our server. But we also run tournaments for many other games, including Rainbow Six, Apex, Call of Duty, Mortal Kombat, and a whole number of games. And give our Discord a join down below, and then maybe join us in these tournaments. Some of them have cash prizes, some don't, but they're all free to enter, and they're a blast to have.
They are a blast to have as well. If you want to find me anywhere, YouTube, Twitch, and Instagram, all Neon Pro is the name right here. And with that, make sure to follow the CGL1 Twitch, maybe even CGL2 Twitch, so you never miss a beat of the action. Until next time with the next GOATS Finals here, this has been the brightest Neon Pro here with Headrammer. We are signing off. Hope you all have a bright day or night, depending on where you are. It's night for me. For you, it might be day. And whatever time of day it is, have a bright time. Till next time.
Bye.
Yo. Cash and the ticket is yours. Cash and the ticket is yours. Yo. Cash and the ticket is yours. Yo.